bus path, which is what I'm thinking of right now, how it affects the rest of the teams. If what happened at the farm is correct, they would have all had really, really, really late glides and long glides because the bus was so far down south, which means possibilities of some shots out the sky for anybody landing at the farm. I do hear word that Arab and company are not at the farm, so what we thought is getting confirmed. They're staying up north and taking a lot of actually what what Fiber, Tifu, Cloaksy, and Kanata would actually take, which is these houses up here and possibly the Craggy Cliff research facility.
So I just listened to the comms right here. Tifu's already trying to rotate. He wants to get out of here. They have a long rotation to the western side of the map. And it does look like they have most of the space to themselves, which is nice for him. So jumping over to Tifu's perspective here, kind of see what's going on. A little bit of a wide split as Kanata is taking good care of that beach right there. They're up in pairs. A little 2-2 action here. He's got 9 grenades in the inventory, trying to juggle some stuff across. And look at how they're trying to save the heals here because there is a slurp truck nearby. If any of you guys are curious as to why these boys aren't popping them good old heals. It's another way to kind of max out and conserve more heals for later in the game.
Very curious what is happening over at both Sweaty Sands and Slurpy Swamps. We saw Clix's perspective earlier, not landing at Slurpy. Wondering where Unknown Army is. Here's
Hola Arid, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal a todos? Aquí estamos pues en un new stream. Estamos aquí como que reaccionando junto con los hermosos casters de el Fortnite. Estamos aquí, esta es la final de la FNCS de Fortnite. Estaban aquí los 25 mejores equipos, las 25 mejores squads, dándose en toda la cabezota. No voy a hablar tanto por encima, porque aquí están pues los comentaristas, aunque sean en inglés, como quiera ahí trataré de traducirles lo mejor que pueda. Pero para que no sea incómodo igual el ruido, les dejaré igualmente pues un poco muteado, así cuando veas ya más gente y demás, igual si veo aquí preguntas o demás, ya empezaré a darles ahí on top. David García, hola bro, saluditos crack, un saludito. Vayan compartiendo el directo. Dan Lupo, hola bro, bienvenido al stream.
Vivid actually taking shots at players in the sky, building up so you can get a better perspective. But looks like hashtag defend the farm, the campaign was successful because first game of the NE's finals here, and they are clear, uncontested, and also doing a good job really, really keeping these guys away, even, shooting people in the sky, make sure anybody who sees what's going on at the farm, they don't get any ideas.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, Vivid's like that mean dog. You walk by the door, he starts barking. That's what those shots are pretty much saying. He's telling people, he's snapping back at anyone that's nearby. They're really, really kind of adamant on making sure they got this spot to themselves right now. And so far, so good. We'll see if they can kind of hold that machismo over the course of the day. This is just game 1, guys, of the FNCS finals. We see a little bit of luck being thrown here for Ninja, Nate Hill, Reverse, and his crew. Got Nate Hill's perspective right now, outside of Dirty Docks. They're rotating free to the storm right now.
Definitely the fan favorites for so many people. They just reach so many and have such a huge influence amongst the community. They're rotating outside Dirty Docks. We did get a perspective on the zone when we were looking at Booga. It was way, way far past the center ridge here. I think this is pushing towards center. Steens, Ando, and company right now, they're right outside of Holly Edges. They might decide to push in, but for now, they're just spacing up. This team taking defensive positions and keeping them back. I think they're successful thus far. Some nades being tossed. I think they're just poking, prodding, seeing what's going on. But 91 players remaining. First zone is about to close. We might be seeing the same old
Vengo de parte de Ariseleri, Jesús. Gracias, bro, por pasarte el directo. Igual, Ari, muchas gracias por compartir el stream, que se agradece.
Uncontested at Craggy Clips, and so far their loot looks great.
They're definitely setting up really nice right here. Craggy's a nice spot, man. You can get so much gear over here. And just based off the zone, this is a good zone for them. It's not too far. They don't have the worst trek. They can kind of cut across. This is a nice little aerial view of the map, guys. You can see how much kind of free reign they have to make this rotation for later on. This also confirms that Zate did get risky, I'm assuming, right? They kind of have that space right there. See Aguilar's team.
Tendrán como quiera en la descripción del directo el canal por el cual estoy viendo el stream, para que si luego quieren ver más directos de ese estilo y con mejor calidad, pues pásense a su directo. Pero pues si quieren apoyar a mí, ahí muchas gracias los que están viendo el directo.
Liquid is definitely going to be okay with that, right? They'd rather not fight at all and give them a little bit of loot than end up fighting over, you know, a couple of chests.
Right. I mean, we saw yesterday 72 and their whole team get chased what felt like forever, and even Storm held for a bit there. Definitely not what you want in your qualifying heats, but finals here is a different story. A lot more riding on the line. We're talking big prize money. Opportunity to make a name for yourself for some of these lesser known folk here.
Adonis, Spudlight saying, and Lyjax, these guys impressed me thoroughly in their heat yesterday. Not people I was familiar with at all. I basically have only heard of Spudlight on this team. And they performed so well. Obviously, they qualified, but winning games too is very impressive.
Now taking a look at Ando here, finding themselves just above what looks like Salty, I believe, here. Oh, just outside of Holly Hedges. So a little glimpse at the map right there. They're trying to find their way to a little mountain piece. Probably going for the gamble. The last time I saw the zone here and I was casting, I'm pretty sure we hit the Nightmare Water Zone. This is kind of that treacherous piece of land that you're playing around. Lots of teams nearby. Here's Clicks. Kind of back with this perspective. Good to see his streams back up and running. They did lose Spades.
Crimson Spades actually at the same household. They've been together for a long time, all the way back to Duo World Cups. Spades comes over during every single tournament. What I'm hearing is he actually kicked his power cable out, so his PC went. Now they're playing as a trio. That's not the start you want to have.
So we got a little bit of a hiccup here. Coming back with Posick. Looking for shots, trying to break this tree here. It's covering the line of sight. Middle and Smack kind of based up just beside him as well. There's Clicks. Looks like they're under pressure right now, so he's actually getting shot from both sides, and that's going to take him out right there. It's going to be Adonis, who we just saw, who's by, I believe they were just underneath the Holly Hedges right there. Remember, it's a little bit unfortunate because they do have one less player, and they get spotted out like that. Any team's going to want to pounce knowing that they have the natural advantage off the bat. Taking a look at another team here, Frosty. So they played pretty well yesterday, securing themselves a little victory.
You spam from all sides. The call to expand out. The direction to expand as well. Of course, no team is pushing them. They are spamming. Of course, get a tag or I'm dead is the call. Storm Surge notifications are out, not the zone, or not the activity yet. They're not getting tagged, but being 25 below, the rocket almost sneaks in. He pulls out the sniper, maybe tries to go for another one, but they know what's happening. Continuing to get spammed. Here's the Storm Surge activity.
Yeah, we just need to run.
And we saw that happen to them one time yesterday. They clearly did start picking it up, but right now not learning from their mistakes and not paying too much attention to their tags and how much they need to stay above. Here, Unknown Army, 0 elims, about 525. And it's time for the W key. Hold on, he gets a knock though with that. Slyjacks might be able to get the finish. Yes, he gets the 275. That's Ninja who goes down. The 275 from the sniper on the head of the knock body makes a huge difference for Storm Surge. Just getting the knock was not going to be enough. Now they're 380 above. The push is successful, but not at the expense of Saiyan Trunks' life and Spud Light's HP. They do have a bandage bazooka that they're going to be able to shoot out for Spud. Grab the bandages and start using them. Gotta be careful not to get tagged at all, though.
Frosty and Adonis, the upsets right here for two major teams, Ninja and, of course, Clicks. We know Adonis just picked those guys off, so they're tearing it up in the box battles over here on their side of the field. Really securing dominance, but Posick is down. Niddle is down. Schmeck and Mikey are in a fight up above. Looks like the team that they were sniping, A1 Isu, is going to be the fault. Get the elim right there. Now coming with the other perspective here. Looks like we are on Schmeck's perspective. They are in the zone just above the threshold right now. 70 players finally eliminated right there. You can see a little...
After week 4, Fiber was the story. They were all deciding about the fate of the team, kind of. Well, the community was. They clearly knew what was going on because they still had finals to play, but a lot of the community putting a lot of blame on the Fiber. He had a tough week 4, but in the heat yesterday, he actually finished 5th out of all players in total points added. That's an amazing stat. So his results, his actions added 17.29 points in clutch moments where he's down one teammate or more.
Big clutch factor on Fiber right there, but a little bit of a fight here. Adonis, Frosty, and Spud Light still fighting for their lives right now as they're rotating out. Once again, that's a little bit of a tough situation from them to be in. Take a look with Tfue.
Not a Fiber and closely. They've gotten all the way towards the west side of the map from the furthest spot east on the map. Remember, there's Steamy Stacks. How did they get here? How did they get across every single team with the congestion that we see?
Oh, wait, never mind.
Now, spotting over it to Unknown Army, they are towar's that end game. 4th zone for them is revealed. And we know what they do in the end game. We know the amount of... Okay.
Look at the little beam right there. Using the harpoon, trying to get the gear. He's going to hit some shots from behind as well. And all that attention is getting the server's attention. The harpoon's going to be able to yoink that loot, but it's just outside of his reach, so he couldn't pull it all. They are going to pounce right on top of it. They know there's still another player here, and here comes the pressure. This is why he's kind of hunting right now.
What just happened there? Unknown Army gets the shots through the turbo build. He's going to get a nice tag on this player. Not getting the knock quite just yet, but they're still upping the ante. This team needs to figure out how to get away from one of the scariest teams in NA. 4 seconds till zone. That's going to decide the fate of whether this fight continues or not. There it is. No, it's going to cross, and they immediately back up.
I love this early rotation right here exercised by Unknown Army. It's actually crazy. We talk about Unknown Army being one of those hybrid players as of late. As a controller gamer, taking lead on the boxing out as well, doing the leading for the tunneling here. But now back with Canada. Fiber, Tfue. Good pressure here. They're just barely above the threshold. This is why they want to spray right now.
Surge is now active as the 5th zone reveals 2. So imperative for them to get more than 2 above because that could change. Nice tag there. 1 with the pistol, but the range making the damage drop off being so huge. There's a headshot. It's going to be really nice for them. We'll lag on that stream. We switch off. Booga. Here's the perspective of where they were. 5th zone, of course, in the bottom left here. They're going to get very, very close to where that actually spawns. But they could still decide to go somewhere else. They have to pause for a moment as moving in is going to put them at risk. Here they go. Forward again.
And you can see the materials struggle right now as the zones have definitely not been in their favor so far. As a team collectively already dwindling on resources. Not sure who's closing up the tarp in the back, but this is a pretty wide tunnel right here. The box fighting, they're not giving them a freebie right here. It looks like they're going to get a couple tags. Can they close out? Boga force on the heels here now. Oh, good assistance with the bandage bazooka from behind, though.
Let's get the knock. Clarity. Boga says, nice job, but tried to go for the mats. They opted not to, actually. Good call by Clarity, I believe, because that team immediately was ready to drop them down. Dwifel getting a different angle at the meantime. Here's Zayt, Saf, Ghost, or Saf, Zayt, Commandment in the high sky. Hiding in the bush on the side of zone. Ooh, they take has. Nice shots there. Unbelievable there. They're still alive in that third zone, so they're going to be moving in towards the end game. But on the north side, we know zone goes down to the southwest of the map. Boga not too far away from it, but sorry, actually, it's completely on the west side of that. So everybody has to rotate that we've looked at, except for Tfue, Canada, Cloaksy, and Fiber. Here they are in 6 zone already. All 4 members are up.
And look at those materials looking very decent for what it's worth, considering that they just got the zone. That's huge. How much zone can play a favor and how much material you can kind of conserve here, but love it. They're kind of tapping off Kanada's resource pool here. He's going to be doing the bulk of the building out for them, the tunneling here.
Exo just got an elim on Zypha in the meantime as this 6 zone's about to move. Here it does go. They're getting ahead. Not only did they get the 5th zone, but they end up moving. Of course, this goes back after actually over old build. Back into more storm surge to the call. They are making their way into that 6 zone centered, so they have a good position, able to hold people for a couple more seconds before the next zone is determined and where they have to move here. They're all into one. It's continuing to go towards Sweaty Sands. Monster, I think you might have cursed us because we're getting ever closer to that beach.
Beach is not the place to be, but it does tend to happen at least 1 out of 6 games, usually, at least in this current map right here. We did see earlier 2 drop zone style maps that went off the side of the mountain, but Canada got RPG'd out, and that's going to be the deadly fall for him right there. As Tfue now is left to scramble back up, also taking a ton of damage. He's going to go for the save, and this is one of the benefits of being way ahead of the zone. He can actually get the save, but Fiber gets taken out when he gets left alone up top. Can he conserve or seal the deal here? Tfue has no health left. Oh, he's going to fall, and it was Macwood.
They needed to try to pick that up because he had all the fish. He had all the floppers. He had the slurp fish. Now getting an update on 72 hours and Vivid. Nice shots onto Adonis. He's actually going to continue chasing this. He knows the HP of this player. He might be able to take him out, but no! Somewhere else. No, that was Lyjax that responded back onto 72 hours. Here's Tfue's perspective. Slightly back in the future. Tfue for once playing on delay, which is interesting. Here's the tunnel. We saw this happen. Unknown Army by himself, though. No, he has Avery. Avery just went down. He took out Macwood. This might be the final moments of the game, actually, that we're tuning in with. Unknown Army with a couple of evens. Plus 10. It's at least 12. He's by himself against probably the rest of the reigning champions, actually, and still making the edits. Yes, 2nd place. Well done from them. They had 12 elims in the 2nd place. Not sure exactly who won. We'll hop back into replay mode when we get a chance. We did see the demise of this team as we get those replays ready to go, and so we can get the full picture on what's going on as placements start to accrue for Tfue's squad.
Yeah, this is right before that big RPG came in and took out Canada right here. It was actually Macwood, so I was curious of whether or not Macwood's team was still making it all the way through to the end game. Knowing now that they have a rocket launcher, that's huge for them. We'll see kind of how that plays out, and that's what happens right there. Tfue opens the box up, and a rocket slips in, and then the call comes out right there. Canada calls to Tfue, and Tfue comes down for the quick save. Zone was
if only he placed himself on the
enough.
far side of this box, he might have been able to actually pick up Canada with the last couple of seconds on this revive, and then he could have fished in and continued going. One thing is for certain, that timing was so unfortunate for Tfue squad here. We're into replay mode now to watch the ending and get the full perspective. Here's Commandant, Zate, High Sky, Dubs, Bizzle, Mega, and Eclipse are still up at the same time, and we know for sure that Calc, Zexro, and them are in this game too. So 3 of the teams that a lot of people are expecting to win the tournament all together are in here. Dubs picks up a nice elim there, and the tunnels is forward. They're staying much lower than Tfue squad.
It's actually insane. Amongst all the chaos that's going on here, I still saw Unknown Army somewhere up top with no shield as well, still in the running. So Macwood squad had the high ground. Zexro, Mac, Vince, or Vinny here, all had the high ground. They were pressuring players. This is how he ends up catching that deadly rocket right before this. Check the pressure just coming in at the server right here. No one is free on these rotations right now. Saf also now becoming the focus point here. You can see the elimination feed kind of lighting up. Mega catches Little J right there. Zimio still in the run as well. Catches Nanolight. And it is popping off right here.
Actually, Cloaksy, when the entire squad got split, Fiber and Cloaksy stayed up, and Zexro ended up 1v2ing them. It looks like, yes, he did take out Cloaksy, but not before going down himself. Calc, Vinny, and Macwood by themselves now. Look at their elims, 8 on Calc and Zexro alone. They're up above 15 at least. Zate down on low ground. He does take out Ace from Zimio's squad. I think that was a full elim, so they might be outs right now. There's Unknown Army on the other side. It goes Saf. Unknown Army did get second. This squad gets wiped out in 4th place. Here's Avery and them still up. So it was Zexro, Calc, Vinny, and Macwood who end up taking this game and definitely slayed out, because look at the elim count. I'm not even going to bother doing the math. That's ridiculous.
That is actually crazy indeed. And I also see, don't sleep on Mega. Mega's just lighting it up right there. High Sky falling to Mega as well. They're down in the thick of it, and there it is. Mega finally gets taken out by Bizzle, it looks like, as all the trades are happening. Unknown Army catches a 3-piece. It was Unknown who caught Dubs, Mega, and Kez right there. Holy.
Now, the final moments where Unknown was trying to clutch up with Avery and his teammates, but Vinny and Macwood were able to finish it off. Vinny and Calc, sorry, were able to finish it off with all the pressure up from high. Calc actually dropped down. They're both going to go on opposite sides and finish off Unknown Army. We definitely got the final moments of this from Unknown's perspective, and it was quite easy here for them. Yes, there it is. The victory royale for Calc, Vinny, Macwood, and Zexro, when it's possible that they could be already starting their campaign for back-to-back FNCS champions. Calc was in the chat earlier in EU. He got them rolling. The entire chat spamming back-to-back. Calc is here. It could be starting Monster.
I think I banned someone for spamming that, by the way. No.
So that shows how you feel about that.
No, man. I've actually, honestly, I've become a big fan of Calc lately. He's just been on his A game, man. He's on his performance game ever since he's been picked up by Team Vanguard. It's like he's become a new young man. You know, he's really changed up. So he's doing good for himself. Keep it up, Calc.
Well, as we saw in the replay mode, most of the final teams in that game were names that I think everybody expected to do very, very, very well throughout the entire time.
¿Será verdad?
Performing unbelievable throughout the qualifiers, throughout the heats. I mean, Bizzle, Dubs, Mega, and Eclipse, and then of course Zate, Saf, High Sky, and Commandment, who ended up getting 4th. But I think we're waiting on the leaderboards to get loaded. I think there might be a surprise for us in store.
Es que no hablo por lo mismo de que como estoy viendo lo de la FNCS y con el audio, o sea, con mi audio, se escucha como que un poco, como que si me estuviera lagueando. Y pues por eso nada más dejo aquí como que el sonido de los comentaristas. Pero a ver, vamos a bajarlo un poquito aquí al de los comentaristas, que se escuchan muy poco o que no se escuchen, y el mío hay que se escuche un poco más en lo que empieza la segunda ronda de esta FNCS. Ahí tienen como que era el canal del que lo está transmitiendo originalmente. Tiene creo que 600 subs más o menos, y pues obviamente está en mejor calidad, si ahí por si lo quieren ir a ver o demás. Pero pues igual yo lo estoy transmitiendo para los que me sigan ahí on top. ¿Quién está en el stream? Hashtag yo. Creo que nada más estás tú, Clow, con fútbol, creo, o con Rayo. A ver, primer lugar va este Setro con su squad que es Vanguard, Vicenzo y Makewood. Pues no me extraña. En segundo va igual Vanguard, pero ¿qué es? Ronaldo, Averi y Army, bro. El known Army. En tercero va Face Mega con pues su squad, ¿no? Ghost Diesel, Rogue Eclipse y Face Dubs. En cuarto, la cuarta squad no la conozco. La quinta squad sí, que pues es Face Vini, Face Digi, Nanmolosti y Shadows. Igual en el sexto puesto está Commando, Handsky y Ghost Saf. En el top 8, pues esa squad tampoco la conozco, ni la 7. Deja el TXT a fútbol. ¿Cómo que TX, bro? Cuéntame. Pues a ver, hay demasiada diferencia. Demasiada diferencia entre el primer puesto y el octavo puesto, Son 29 puntos que se llevan. Bueno, ya comenzó la segunda partida, hermano. Así que cualquier duda o cosilla, pues la respondo ahí por el chat. ¿Ves compartiendo el directo, porfa, este Clow? Hay que se vaya metiendo a la gente para ver el stream, el directico. Y pues ya no hablo más y disfruta del directo, crack.
On one of those Elam chains right there. So the pinch was happening. We'll see if space. It's the tilt factor when you start losing your cool.
Chat going wild right now with all sorts of hashtags. Keep it up, guys. We want to see you guys supporting your teams. I love the sarcastic spam going on right now with hashtag get in the van. Of course, Vanguard yesterday preemptively tweeted that they won FNCS. Hey, so far so good for that team. They did just recently pick up young calculator. So Team Vanguard already showing up big in the Fortnite competitive scene, their first pickup. And he's at the top of the leaderboards after game 1.
That is indeed the start that you want for an org. So we're looking at Blake just kind of get his max together. It's the perfect spot to pick up that quick max medal right there. Once again, they have this kind of area to themselves. Unfortunately, this time we didn't really see how many players landed over at the lake. First time around, there were a couple teams there. This looks like there might have been someone over to the side there. Does a quick little peek.
I see him. He's looking for shots.
Oh, weird. I did also realize that Vanguard also picked up Kez, who's on Unknown Army's team. So Team Vanguard, their first 2 pickups in the Fortnite competitive community. And number 1 and number 2 on the leaderboards at the end of game number 1. So hopefully they don't preemptively claim the win here, because that would definitely be a jinx and a half.
All right, look at Canada here. Last time we saw him, he had the space himself, and ooh, he's going to eat a nice little snipe right there. He's trying to be cheeky right here for the Storm Surge shots, which are very important to claim early on, especially if you get the opportunity to. So you can't blame him for going for it. It is going to cost him a little bit right there as he gets 100 shield probably ripped off right there. I wasn't quite sure how much health he had before that. It definitely looked like a headshot or a sniper shot of some sort.
Cloaksy was notorious for actually stealing some loot from the Craggy Cliffs team. Sometimes even landing all the way up at the research facility, split from his teammate. Now here is Arab, was taking a couple tags over, not too far away from the Steamy Stacks team. That might be Jacobiki that he's stealing tags on, but on the return, we saw Cloaksy Fiber and them taking tags and shots at probably who we're looking at right now is probably Arab, which is hilarious to think about. Or they're taking tags on themselves, trading out. Sometimes that's not too terrible. I don't see the sniper for Arab just yet. He might actually be in trouble because of the mats that he has. The rocks there are going to be able to be farmed up, not too hard. And I think Kaz is standing by nearby with a sniper, so he can support, provide the cover fire. Something interesting too is that these teams that end up, switching and taking these spots on the edge of maps where they need to split quite wide and are between multiple different POIs end up being Storm Surge fodder for a lot of the bigger POIs. In this case, Arab doing a good job trading the tags back onto the Steamy Stacks team. But you've seen people from Craggy Cliffs push on over to get tags on these teams who land at the Broken House. You've seen Cloaksy yesterday push on even over to Craggy Cliffs. So Storm Surge fodder, you got to find it because it was such a big factor in the game earlier. It could continue all the way through the finals.
It's actually a good point. This is kind of a cool perspective because we get to see it from the opposite end, right? We know that that was Canada who was actually firing in. That was the pistol that kind of hit him for a good little 19 right there. So having the is definitely something that is going to play a factor in probably all these games. NA East region, specifically known for being one of the slower paced games. Storm Surge always taking effect in most of the runs, being more placement heavy over W Key Fest.
Yesterday, this squad had an incredible performance in the heats, won 11 points. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Is that going to continue today? So far, the answer is no. Was it all just because, of course, Booga got so many zones yesterday? Everybody's still spamming the hashtag marketable every time Booga is on screen, hoping for a zone. They did get not only did they get second, third, fourth zones, but they also got a number of half in, half outs. The controversy is that Booga only won World Cup because of how many zones he got, but we all know that was definitely not true. Booga's such an incredible player. But yesterday, they did get those. This time, the zone going all the way over to Sweaty Sands. So difficult to rotate from retail. And maybe a result of why they only have 2 points here. I'm not sure exactly how it is, but it might be a long rotate again.
Yeah, I don't see much on the board for them right now. Nate Hill, Funk, Reverse, and Ninja do have a little bit of a rotate to make, but it could be a lot worse. The zone previous in game one was a lot worse than this one. So you got to count their blessings where they can. It's a little something. You can kind of make a cross. 30 docks, all to themselves, though. So far, it's looking pretty good here. I do apologize for a little bit of the buffer kind of hopping around right now, but just kind of getting situated. It's also a great, nice upgraded semi-tactical shotgun in the loadout. This loadout's looking real good for Nate Hill. Yesterday, Nate Hill, Reverse and Ninja really came out big with some big performances, popping off endgame, going for high ground in multiple runs. I really want to see what they do with the endgame this time around now that the caliber of the lobby has been a lot more condensed. And, arguably the skill gap's been raised by a fair amount.
I believe there is actually some Twitch lag the entire way, so everybody may be getting affected by that, but we're going to be investigating the technical difficulties. Obviously, we still get a good picture of the game, so not affecting too much, but definitely impacting the enjoyableness. We'll be working on it for sure, though. Going back and forth now and deciding exactly how to proceed here. Clicks, Crims, Blake, Spades. Not straying too far from their drop spot. Their second zone, we just saw it for a second. And we can talk about that because it's just to the west of Lazy Lakes, which is exactly the kind of zones that Booga and company thrived in yesterday. But now that Clicks is here, who knows? They do have a really, really good zoning. Here's Vivid and company again. The farm uncontested. They even have a lot of orchard themselves. But they're missing a teammate. No.
Ooh,
72 hours. not in the game. Look at the bottom left right there. In the replay mode, you'd be able to see his name. So that unfortunate bug is still affecting so many people. Look in the top left. 5 players did not make it in. So terrible news for any of the Liquid fans. Hashtag defend the farm is still going strong though.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You saw 24 squads made it into the game, but 5 players were in fact missing right there. So a couple teams have been affected. This one, though, not one of them. Commandment, Zate, High Sky, Saf do seem to have the Risky Reels area all to themselves. Assume this is Zate. Yep, on his typical rotation up towards the bridge right here, just outside of Salty. So it's just kind of hopping back and forth, giving you guys a little insight onto the way they get their loot on. Here's the world map. Take a look at the map so you guys can see. See just below them, Clicks is Santa, Blake, and those boys right there. Really wide splits and off to the farms right there. There's no 72 hours.
Wow, that is a big split from Clicks, Crims, and Blake. Crims is on the or Clicks is on the mountains all the way down here, and they did start to regroup. I think Spades is nearby, but Crims was all the way down on the bridge near Frenzy Farms, and Blake was even further south. They did coalesce on to the mountains here, but wide split in the early game. Don't forget to note the inventories of Zate, Staff, High Sky, and Commandment. They were all sitting on pump shotguns, maximum shields. I think each of them had about 2 or 3 big pots. And then the ideal loadouts, a couple of snipers, which they're so very good at getting Storm Surge tags with, and then the Bandage Bazooka that High Sky tends to carry every single time he can.
Looks like Click sees a little bit of engagement kind of going on here, and this is like a little valley of death right here. You got to be careful. Several teams nearby. Goes for the snipe. That was almost a quick pickup right there, as he now gets stuck in the build trying to make the jump across. It is going to cost him a little bit of shield. We know they have minis, and now expending some of the whites here because Blake needed to heal up as well. He was already lit from one of his rotations. It's going to be just more resource expended here, as they are now dry on wood from Clix's rotation all the way across. Very low on brick as well. We know where they landed. This spot is abundant with resources, especially brick and wood, enough to fill up the whole team. So definitely just means the congestion here is costing them to kind of use a lot.
Unknown Army and company are combining for a couple of elims. I did see Problem go down on the 4th place team of Zimio Haji and Ace.
Ooh, that's actually an important elim right there. Avery catches Diggy. Diggy was in the top 6, I believe.
5th place.
Yeah, he was in 5th. So him getting taken out right there. Anonymous eliminated Commandment. So, ooh, yeah. Look at that.
Staff and High Sky go down too. Commandment already was out, as Monster said. So we just saw the update from them, but now on the live feeds, that entire team getting knocked down. I think it's only Zate remaining, or that could be a full wipe. We still know that they can clutch up, and they're the team that I would say has the most chance of picking up any reboots, but losing all his teammates means that they are not going to be good on Storm Surge at all. And given the fact that there's 88 remaining at this point in time in the game, and the 3rd zone just revealed itself, it's going to become active any second now, means that might be the end of Zate, Staff, High Sky, and Commandment. Yes, there it is, active. Clicks 34 below, so it's affecting them too. And 87 people means 17 need to go down before anything happens, and people are already falling left and right. Breeze and Statsy are down 84 now. Click still getting shot or zapped by the Storm Surge. He needs to find a snipe. I don't know. Otherwise, this might be the end. Zate, meanwhile, did go down, so that entire team now wiped.
And I do see Reverse 2K, and they're popping off as well. I think he just completed Haji's team right there. You see Reverse 2K also caught Strobe as well. So whatever he's doing is going well for him. Lucky for Clicks, though. Kind of smart right here. I don't think we've seen anyone combat the surge like this, but he has no wood. He can't actually stoke the campfire. It's not enough.
I think there's a bush just to his left. He didn't have enough wood to stoke the campfire. It's so unfortunate. Maybe that tent, just give me something. He's just standing on it. 4 people need to go, but Crimson Blake have also been eliminated. I'm not sure why he hasn't gotten them all to come over to this campfire. In the meantime, it's gone completely. Now they're going to be able to stoke it now that Spades is here, I think. No, it looks like he does
don't
have enough
have
mats.
three-
They're above. They're above. As Crims and Blake fell, they finally are above, and the threshold has now stopped. Both of these guys are completely eliminated. Don't forget, when you fall to Storm Surge, you just get knocked out of the game. No chance of coming in back unless you get the cards.
That was actually crazy because for them to die first too, just get taken out like that. All the material drops right there. Their position, they have to give it up if they want to go for the reboots. That's a huge setback for Clicks to Screw right there.
I
Now take
didn't
a look
see
at
anything in the feed about Vinny, Macwood, Zexro, and Calculator. So maybe they are just fine on Storm Surge. We know they're lining over towards that craggy cliff, so possibly a ton of different teams giving them influence on here. Now we're quite a bit back. Here's the Storm Surge again for this team. Gandhi, Rox, Frat, and Teza. Are they going to be able to continue to stay above? I believe they might, but I'm worried about Gandhi staying so far out in the open with how many teams are above or below this threshold. They might get pushed and pushed by a desperate team.
Yeah, Teza and Frat did catch a knock up there though, so Gandhi doing just a little bit of lurking on the side here, trying to see if he can catch a nice angle. Maybe one of these guys let their guard down or assist the battle from the side here. And that's the angle right there. He's not going to connect quite. That's going to be the knock on Polsic, who did not have any white health. So that was probably the revive on Polsic. And now you hear the call out. They're going down right here.
They all get naded. They do finish that off. Niddle, I believe, was the other player there. I couldn't quite read that. Regardless, they did take advantage here. 2 points now in this game as they left Lazy Lake. I'm not sure if there was any contest there. Last game there was. I think they got completely wiped this time. Outside and taking advantage of Storm Surge. Because while there might be a lot of cycle players, there's also a lot of people going and getting eliminated by the Surge. So if you get any tags at all, you get the Elim credit without basically doing anything. All you need is a tag. So at the same time, I said it was dangerous for them to stay out in the open. In this case, turns into 2 Elims. Calc, in the meantime, does connect with some nades. He actually gets a knock. That means they're still alive.
Still in the running here, but look at this rotation here. 50 seconds remaining for them to cut all the way across. They did just replenish up on materials and loot. Doing a quick divvy out right here.
Yo, the team's ended out towards us west. We're getting RPG'd. We're getting RPG'd.
A little call out here from Cloaksy.
Storm Surge. I think we should push up on the side of... we should push east, maybe. Storm Surge is
Still got to be aware. We have the 4th zone here. The notifications for Storm Surge are going to come out soon for that team, and still 13 people above 50 here. The proficiency of the nades, it's actually on to Blake and Crims. That's what we saw earlier, the knock. Actually, I don't think we saw that. Clicks immediately gets over. I believe they do save him. But that is valuable tags for Dubs, Mega Bizzle, and Eclipse. In terms of the Storm Surge, now back to Canada Fiber in them. But ask yourself, how important is the 50-50 zone? Because, as our stats say, as they're backed up, it only differs the average placement by 1 in terms of whether you're furthest from zone or actually having. It is important, but not super, super. Here's Saf, Commandment, High Sky, and Zates. We know that they actually got completely wiped during that Storm Surge or briefly before, and it's because of this.
Wow.
They tried to go from some nays, but got from behind. It's Perplexity and Lie Jackson Company, a bunch of different teams actually deciding to spam them at the same time. So positional error from these guys, and they get pushed right back. I think this is Haz's team that ends up wiping them. Unfortunate here. 12 points for them. That's going to be where they leave for game number 2.
Yeah, Zate was the last to stay alive on his team right here, and you can see he's kind of in the scramble, really trying to go for it, trying his best to desperately stay alive, even recycling some of his old builds right here. Once again, it's just what happens. It's one of those things, right? You set up for the nades, but then you also become the easy target and victim for the nades because it's kind of easy to call out and spot. So got to be quick on the draw when you're going for the grenade spam right there, or you'll fall victim to one.
Where? I'm coming. I'm getting naded. I'm getting naded. Close. Close. Get my box. Close. I'm on you. I'm nading. I'm ready.
He's pushing me.
Is he going to be able to hold on? Yes, he does.
Solo above you guys.
Good call to spot the solo. He knows exactly what's going on. I don't think he even got any tags, so it'd be kind of crazy to push into a full squad at this point. But what he is doing is he's holding back this one. They find him and get him. I'm not sure exactly who that was. They're going to continue to push down in towards that 5th zone. I think they have a free rotate from here on forward.
Yeah, they are definitely ahead of the curb right now. Look at this. Is that... No, it's not going over that. It's a huge snipe on Lyjax. Frosty right there gets taken out by Canada from down range with the huge snipe. In comes the pressure, and it's probably going to just stay just like that. Yeah, they're not going to have a lot of time to save him. They have to cut across to the zone here, where now we see the complete opposite. Nate Hill sitting on the zone. So we know he's going to get it right after this. Their whole team's alive and healthy.
Yeah, every single member up and about. 4 elims for this squad combined. They didn't get any points in game number 1. We saw Ninja go down. Nate Hill, Funk Bomb, reverse. And Ninja now on height, on the edge. You said they got zone. So we'll see. 1,000 damage above Storm Surge. Obviously, they have 4 elims, but they basically have 6 more on their own. Now, looking at Unknown, they're already in the moving zones. He's got 8 already. This team might be priming themselves for a first place overtake against Young Calc and them with 8 elims already. All of a sudden, the team slides down in front of him, but Unknown is already on the offensive.
He was saved right there, edited out. And Kez, now he's trying to get back to his team. I love this, though. He's not sticking back to fight. And that was a player in front of him, just kind of sitting on the teammate's name tag. He almost didn't even notice it for a second there. He's got to convert now for the health. That's going to keep him in the running for a little longer. Can he get up to his team in time? He is on the box now. He's in a desperate situation. He doesn't even have mats, but he's going to drop what he can to his teammates.
Already at 34 points, which is, I believe, where first place was. So now tying up against Macwood, Calc, Zexro, and Vinny. But Splodes come in. He does get tagged, but does get down to the correct layer. Not before getting shot from behind, though. Avery is going to come back and clean up. Tessa's the one who takes him. Avery trying to make the rescue on Unknown and getting a little bit too greedy there. He does go down. Kez, though, one of the best ungame players on this team. He makes the right calls so often here in the clutch situation. Can he do it? That's the question on our minds. There is water down below if he needs to, but getting sprayed and out. It's Tessa who wiped that squad. It might be them on high ground. I'm not sure exactly. We'll have to see. I think ended out on 40 points. Now Booga, Clarity, G Stretch. We're back in the past. Thwyfo did get knocked. Apparently that was Cloaksy on high ground. We'll have to see. Yes, it was. Kanata, Fiber, Tifu, and Cloak on height. We saw them rotating the difficulty in 5th zone. That stream continues to lag, so we have to look at a different perspective. But they were on height. We'll be able to get the full picture in replay mode afterwards as well.
It was just enough for Unknown's team to get placement, so you notice that's why they were celebrating here. Remember, guys, we're going to be coming in and out of this perspective. It is dropping frames, but nonetheless, we get the story right here. Look at this high ground hold right now. They're pressuring players. Kanata, Fiber, Cloaks, and Tifu all alive still in the game. Tifu's on the lead right now, looking for the hunt right now. All the proper call-outs coming out here, targeting anything that moves, anything in the zone as well. Looking for the spray shots right here, putting pressure down in the entire lobby. Only 10 players remaining, 6 of which are enemies, and even less now.
Got to be careful, though. The height and the distance that Kanata has moved forward. Here comes the splits. Really, really good, actually, from them to go forward and split up like that. Wow. More tags and more knocks coming in the spray, like Kanata said. It's now 4 against 3. Vivid was the player who just went down. So many elims for him, and it might be actually Liquid Luck down below because Vivid did not get fully eliminated. Again, we'll get the full picture when we go into replay mode, but there it is. The win from these guys as they overhang across the mountain, the zone. So perfect for them. Definitely something that we're going to continue to watch is the success of that team. They love to try to push for high ground. This time it works out.
That was the hype story right there. The excitement on Kanata's face. Getting that victory right there is going to set them up big time. We know they do tend to play well when in a better mood, so it's going to be a nice boost on their confidence. Nice little textbook end game right there. Vivid, good to see them come all the way through to the end as well. So that's going to shake up the board as well, giving them a lot of points.
When there were only 3 members of it, 72 Hours was not in this game. He didn't make it through, and they clutched up and made probably what looked like 4th or 3rd place by the, time that Vivid went down. Not seeing Zexro and company on this game at all here. We're outside of the placement threshold before 6 zone starts to move. And it goes down the mountain. Remember, the success that they had yesterday and the success that we've seen time and time again when the elevation changes so drastically for this team. Look at the so smart of a rotate from Chap to drop down and go around the side of this house right here as it comes off down into Lazy Lake. The positional genius and the rotational mastermind is at it again here in the 6 zone. They're going to clutch up a number of elim points. Here's Teza, Brox, Gamdi, and Frat picks up Unknown Army. This is where they ended up wiping down. Avery goes down because he tried to succeed and defend, but no, it's not going to pan out for them. Meanwhile, on height, look, Ninja reverse there on mid-ground. I'm not sure exactly how Tifu and company ended up taking the height. So many elims here from Vivid. It's just feed pickings, the spray. What is this? 3 elims and possibly more. Yes, H-Tag is going to go down. 2 Vivid putting on a clinic on the lower ground. 6 elims, 8 total for this team.
And he still has knocks that haven't even converted yet. Dubs right there is going to get hit and ticked by the storm, which is probably going to transfer over later as well. And now they're just off to the races right here. That's going to be the comeback game that they were looking for, especially considering the other champs are out of the running here. Now Reverse somehow finds himself in the low ground. He's going to get tagged up a few times. Vivid's not going to let him go for free. He's going to hold him out to the storm right there. And slowly but surely, Reverse falls to the pump of Vivid. In those moments right there, here's another one. Liquid Luck running the low ground right now, making good clearance and riddance of all the players there as the pressure from above finally comes in and closes out. As we know, that was Canada and the boys shooting down.
And the split here, the zone actually went back up the mountain, so there was really nothing that Chap could do. Says Lucky just tried his best. He didn't have any mats to even get back up of that. Look how many times it changed the different elevations, and that's where Liquid thrives. They're going to push themselves up to about 30 or 28 points or so. That is probably not going to show on the leaderboard, so we're going to have to keep that in mind because that was how that amount of points in that game. Right. We'll have to make sure we keep track of exactly where they really are on the leaderboard. So every time you see Liquid, add about 20 points at least, and that'll give you a better idea of where they're at. Yeah, that is a good point, but I think they rounded out at about 10 total elims right there confirmed. Definitely kind of bank on that, just knowing that they're doing pretty darn good so far in the running, especially this early, right? That was only game 2 coming out of the 6. That's a big bounce back for them to clap back at the rest of the server right there. Yeah, so when we look at the standings, they only had 2 points in the first game. So we just subtract by that, or we'll make sure that we know exactly how many. Nico, I believe you said it to me. Just type it in the chat. That way we can keep track and do the math. But the original ones that kind of started the trend, I tweeted out in week number 2 that they won the finals. I said Liquid Chat was a positional genius and a return of Liquid is near. And so far, the return of the original Chap making the smart plays with the trio of those guys. That was, remember, the original guys that ended up coming in 2nd place last time we had this FNCS in season 1. The trios, it was his Lucky, Vivid, and Chap who came in 2nd to Vinny, Zexro, Macwood, and Calculator. So maybe we're starting to see a complete repeat. It's not just back-to-back for the winners, but maybe back-to-back for the top 2 even. I mean, so far they've definitely proven it. Under these squad kind of circumstances, they just tend to play better. I guess more minds, they just have better team cohesion than a lot of other teams. A lot of this comes down to that communication, being able to trust in your leader, and Chap just kind of pushing all the way through. And that was kind of crazy because sometimes, it's arguably between 72 hours and Chap that take the lead here, but you saw that without 72, Chap was able to kind of lead them all the way through, still to the end, just showing how much of a strong force he is a part of this team. So we are looking to see where else everything is on the leaderboards. We do have it. Is that what you just said? So we will be swapping. We are actually waiting on the leaderboard, so we'll continue to watch and wait for that. Other stories, Monster, that were in that game, I think Booga and company are continue to underperform, even though that time the zone was the same as yesterday. So maybe the lobby had a lot to do with it. The different amount of really, really good teams and the amount of people that actually play that mid-ground layer that Booga does is affecting them clearly.
Yeah, we also didn't see really how Ninja and his crew lost the high ground. They had the zone, it pulled all the way in their favor, all the way through on that mountaintop. Somehow Reverse still found himself all the way in the low grounds. Something definitely kind of unfolded there, but we do have the leaderboards ready to kind of be loaded here. So let's see where these teams place up. We know Saf, Zayt, High Sky, they were all taken out. They were nade spammed out of the game. So they're going to, or we can expect them to drop to see how these other teams kind of hold up here.
So here it is, the standings going in from 8th to 1st. You see a couple of teams drop, but there, Nate Hill, Ninja, FaZe, Funk, and Reverse push themselves into 5th. So the return of that squad is still big, but coming out in 1st is actually unknown. Kaz, Ronaldo, and Avery who overtake. We saw how many elims they had going into those 6 and 7 zones. Ended up going down. Note that Liquid's points did not count. I believe they're around 34 or so, somewhere in that range, 24 actually. So they would be in 5th place, just above Nate Hill, Ninja, Funk Bomb, and Reverse. And don't forget, in 4th place, that's the winners.
That is true. So it just kind of gives you guys a little bit of perspective of how tight the running is right now for 1st through what would be 5th place. Remember, count that Team Liquid team in. Count all these other teams in as well. It's about consistency and pulling all the way through. But man, unknown army, Kez, Ronaldo, and Avery leading off of pure elims alone. We saw Avery lighting up the feed in the mid game, which is no surprise for unknown army's crew. They're definitely very aggressive. The game 1, we saw them score some points, make it all the way through, I think taking 2nd. But not only that, they were like 1,000 DPS above, or 1,000 damage above the Storm Surge early in the mid game. So they are taking battles. I'm not sure what team they're rotating into early, but they're making someone's run a nightmare, that's for sure.
I am seeing a lot of worried Team Liquid fans. Don't worry, guys. Their points will count. Epic is fixing any instances of the bug where players do not get into the game, and thus their rest of their team is punished and their scores don't count. They do add up at the end of the day. We just have to keep track. Of course, they still have a chance to put themselves up on the leaderboard. They are just missing those points that they earned that game. They are still tallied at the end of the day.
No, Bala, if you haven't learned yet, if you explain it, they don't listen, so they'll still... yeah, we just talk and blabble. No one hears anything, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a single person knows what we're talking about. We could talk about anything, Monster.
Talk about anything.
And they wouldn't have a clue.
You just put them in a trance. You know, that's all that happens.
I mean, that's mostly what I do anyways as a caster. I just spout random stuff. So we're good. Just breaking a little bit of that wall. But yeah, we are loading into the next games because game number 3 is probably underway. We are in game, so let's go ahead and bounce in there. The winners from the previous game at 31 points in 4th place right now on the backs of Canada, Vibrant, Tifu, and Cloaksy. Not on the backs of them, but we're watching them. Okay, hold on. He might split. They might actually end up going towards that slurp truck based on the amount of people in their zone. That's a strat that they do sometimes, is take the slurp truck first, then loot steamy stacks. Don't forget, they have plenty of time to catch up to the zone because of the stack, so you can float out of there. The only mobility on the game. A lot of elims actually going off on spawn. Here they are. This is what I'm talking about. Going over. Grabbing.
Call out right there. Tifu saying, I think they got juked and maybe lost their POI to Arab and his crews. We know they were just over by the cliffs.
But no, actually, I'm seeing in the feed, actually, Arab is just taking out Chap.
Whoa.
So all of a sudden, they're back at it. Inspire still combining for some elims. And it's on. Attack the farm, maybe defend the farm. I don't know whose side you're on, but make sure you're cheering for them. Liquid, as soon as they have any modicum of success, as soon as they knew that Liquid, their mentality is down from losing 72 hours last game, they pounce. Don't worry here. Tifu is lucky. Arab did not have some master plan to juke them out the sky. They still do get the steamy stacks. We're going to watch this for sure. It's so unfortunate. But we'll see here the contesting of both teams. They definitely needed something better given the fact that there's only 1 point on Arab, Aguilar, Kaz, and Inspire. They decided, hey, what we're doing right now isn't working early game. We're not getting what we need. Here's Arab. Ooh. He's going to spot 120 tag out the sky. We already know that Chap goes down instantly off of Arab. Does get the chest here. How does this continue?
No way he picks up a blue tactical shotgun out of that. That's going to be a confidence surge for him indeed right here. He's going to go for the push in, the 50-50. There's no reason for him not to at this point. You know exactly how much material this player's probably going to have. Just a couple more left. Good on him to get some farm right there as well. Kind of making the pause jump all the way through it. My gosh. He's going to take out one of the boys right there. It's actually going to be Liquid. Chap who goes down.
Two on you. 18 white on both.
A phase trick to get in the box. Chap tried to hold out with the one chest that he had, but really only had a blue burst. Nothing to be done from Chap in that perspective. There's Inspire connecting for one as well. Inspire goes down in the meantime, though, because of the backup from, I believe, 72 Hours and company. Says Lucky is down. Kaz has just taken him out. Inspire got a knock earlier, so I believe it's just on the back of Vivid now, who knocked Inspire in the first place. But the pinch is coming in quickly from this team.
He's looking for
And there he is.
bomb
The
right
box
there.
is here. He might decide to phase in again. Yes, he does get in the box, and that's going to be another knock. He might have gotten the pickup on somebody else. That's 72 Hours, so it's all up to Vivid now against Arab, Aguilar, and Kaz. The nades going through into the cornfield. Going to catch that. They do spot exactly where he is.
I'm picking him up. Yeah, I'm picking him up.
Screaming out, defend the farm, boys. And it looks like
I can
they're
1v1 him.
stealing the slogan right here. He's going for the immediate reboot as well. As Arab, Inspire, Aguilar
I think it's Zay.
take over the entire farm right here with a masterful landing and execution. More importantly, it's about executing it. He did that
It's not over
perfectly.
yet. It's not over yet because I think Arab has already called out that there's another team approaching the farm. So knowing that there was a fight going on here, Zate, High Sky Commandment, and Saf might have decided to capitalize. They've got to be careful. Yes, there is somebody in the house. They're trying to heal up before it happens there. I think that's probably Vivid hunting down the last member, hiding inside the house, hoping, praying that they don't come. It's a horror game, and Arab is starring in it.
He got me.
Ooh!
Inspire didn't go for the 50-50 trade either right there. He probably should have. That gives Vivid even more opportunity right now to get this siphon off. It wasn't enough.
Let's catch that. You see his charm, his chat exploding with chants of defend the farm. The saga continues here on finals day. And Arab is the winners. Last time this happened, last time they actually won the farm without losing a single member, they went on to win the game. And given the fact that we see zone right now, it's going north, it's going more centered over the farm. All of a sudden that team could not only have the momentum boost, but they could also have the frenzy farm buff in the end game if it does end up going that way.
This is a battle for the ages as the story and the plot thickens. We'll see as the games tend to develop how Liquid is going to bounce back from this one, because that's got to be extremely tilting, not only to not see their points kind of pop up on the board, but 72, not getting that warm-up time for being in the previous game and then getting taken out immediately off the bat there. That's a setback. That is a huge setback for them. But nonetheless, hashtag defend the farm or Arabs owns the farm. Use that hashtag FNCS finals as well. You guys can totally tweet us on social media so you guys can see your responses up here. We want to know how the community feels. So get up on Twitter, hit those hashtags. Let's see how y'all really think about this.
It's only game number 3. So the mind games are on. Sure, Arab squad might not have been happy with exactly how their loot was panning up in the craggy research facility in the broken houses up there. So deciding now, remember in game number 1, they did actually yoink some of the orchard, and they kind of conditioned. This is what I'm talking about in terms of early game strategies. They conditioned Team Liquid to think that they were safe, that they could get wider and wider on the farm. And that's what happens. Meanwhile, Vinny, Zexro, Macwood, and Kalk, uncontested. Craggy Cliffs, it's all theirs. They all land quickly doing the classic Beehive Chapix crew. Dropping in at the restaurant and grabbing the slurp barrels. They all get max chilled so instantly. No one in sight on that side of the map. Not a single person even up in the northwest of Pleasant.
Yeah, that's just an incredible route. If you guys kind of caught that, they land, they immediately max out, and then they split off like little ants to hit their loot pass, completely optimizing the route. Now with Booga, Clarity stretching, Thwyfo here. We know Clix's team kind of has this wide spread over this mountain here. You can see how this can cause an issue. They rotated up for possibly some metal, and then you just hit the barrage of, or the mirage of bases all set up from Clix and their team. Probably a bunch of fake ones off in those mountains, but nonetheless, still scary. No one wants to rotate into those because some of them are going to have those players. But jumping back into the replay mode here to show you guys the Kings that are still alive here. Commandment, Zayt, and Sap, High Sky have their normal, typical split. They do have zone this time around, which is a bit different than the previous games.
Inventory didn't look as good as last time. And we know what happened last time. A little bit of unfortunate circumstances when they were trying to get their nade season on. This time, I didn't see any nades. I didn't see really any nice shotguns. I didn't see too much shield on that team. But of course, we're looking for it.
You can see this little banner right here. Lemonade out of lemons. TSM Vinny continues his impressive play from the Heats where he led all players. 4 minutes, 36 seconds alive by himself, showing he's deadly even with bad odds. It's actually interesting, though, jumping back with Clix's crew. They're rotating closer and closer to the farm. We know the zone is here. We know Arab's crew is nearby, capitalizing on resources. You could see a clash of these boys next, as Tifu, Canada, Fiber, and Cloaksy also make their way in. This is the area of collapse right now for many players trying to get center zone.
I believe they are center zone at this point. Look at the amount of building that went on the farm. And we've seen what happens when Arab's team does get the farm yesterday, winning, I believe, game number 3 in their heat, because they were able to edge their way into zone every single time with max resources coming from the farm. They pretty much have it mastered when it ends up being a zone that favors Frenzy Farm. So them being there, being centered, probably basing up on the big building, able to refarm and remax everything, they might be putting themselves in a position to take game number 3.
It's actually a bit of a surprise right here. Nate Hill, Bunker Reverse.
Hello there.
Not maxed out on resource. They have had the zone for at least 2 by now. Team we haven't seen much of today. Coop had some crazy highlight moments yesterday on his road to qualification here for Sunday.
Uy, le metieron ahí
Victim
un
of a couple
tirito.
early game deaths. You see only 3 points on his team right now. Look at that controller movement hitting the nice.
Tenemos la tabla de posiciones, como van
That leaderboard right there.
los 6 mejores
Battling
puestos.
for time around. We do have the Liquid Boys up
Las
there
6
in
mejores
fifth, where they
squads.
should be. They're out
Yéndole
this game.
on top.
Hill Point, Reverse, and Ninja.
Tenemos a un miembro
They
de
did maintain
Face,
height
un tanto
last game,
potente,
even though they did
un
eventually
tanto
lose it to Difu,
on top.
Oaksy, Canada, and Fiber.
Vayan
They get themselves
compartiendo
18
el
points and
directo,
place in the top 8.
que no les cuesta
Rotation
absolutamente
now for them.
nada.
They're going to come in on that east side. There's Unknown, Kez, Avery, and Ronaldo, who are in first place right now with 41 points. This could be a huge story. His Unknown Army continues his Cash Cup prowess. Everybody's talking about this guy. Everybody thinks that, you know, they're all thinking it. They're all basically thinking, wow,
Este es de
this guy
mando,
could actually be one of the best players in the world.
Un jugador de mando
Nobody's,
en la
you
final
know,
de la
saying it just
FNSS.
yet because still time to tell. He obviously hasn't won and had any huge success in massive major tournaments. The
Es lo que
Cash
hacen
Cups
también
are
las
all fun
squads
and
en
good. It
estos
is
momentos,
solo game
como que
mode
ocupan
team mode
3
all
de
also
teclado y
West
ratón
on the line
y
in
uno de
terms of
mando,
pricing. Oh my
o
goodness.
2 de mando y
There
2
he
de
goes
teclado y
again.
ratón.
The man is a monster. He's on the loose, and there he goes
Es
building up
muy
towards them.
raro
Stormsurge is
toparse
active there above. It
squads
might be easy
completamente de
times and
mando
easy pickings
por lo
to
mismo de la
find themselves a
rotación.
couple elims, but no, his team backs off. Unknown needs
Por
to
eso son como que
pick spark play and get away.
de a pocos jugadores de mando en cada squad
Standing out in the
de
open,
esta
baiting
final,
the
¿no?
player. Like, you show your head, I'm going to hit you. Exactly what happens. Dude pops up, rips his shield right off them. Look how he's taunting and baiting them to see if they're going to peek his teammates. He's going to come back around. Just to piggyback on what you said as well. Yeah, everyone's thinking it. No one's saying it just yet. Is Unknown Army one of the better players in the world right now, in the Fortnite world? He's definitely risen up lately. I mean, qualified for the World Cup as well. Kind of a sleeper.
Ahí vayan compartiendo el
Kind of
directo
the jitters there. What we have
para que
here,
se vayan viendo
little
la gente
poster
aquí
for the FNCS champions.
al
Must be baseball
directito.
Shayo. Just hope you like it.
Un directito de
Thank you
chill.
for doing your job. FNCS finals, man. Look at that.
Thank you, man. It means a lot. Huge shout
Appreciate
out to
that.
the production team as well. Reverse boy, thank you so much. Of course, Nikolai.
Un directito
handling most of the switches, the graphics,
tranquilón,
and everything that you see
tranquilón.
today. Playing with a couple of different people, and then the observing chart to meet the true heroes. The true people who helped this show get put on. They're all in the back, switching the perspectives for us, trying to cover all the action, trying to cover all the threads that we care about as a community.
Those are the real heroes. Thank you guys so very much. Collectively, us here at the practice server, our pleasure to put on for the community. There'll be many more shows for you guys, but today we are looking at the FNCS finals and the action is unfolding. Polsic Middle, Smacked and Mikey, team we haven't seen much of, but we've had the POV of under pressure. See if they can find themselves an endgame. Give us a show. Tifu's under Storm Surge right now. And they have some knock players here. This is a best case scenario for them at least right now. He has shield. He isn't even pausing to try and pop him right now. He's just going for it. Oh, it's going to hurt him a lot.
Oof, and then the
No
rocket
way.
in at the worst possible
Wow.
time.
Uy,
There, 'cause
matan
he
a
could have held
Tifu,
through
un
this.
miembro de
There was
Face.
only a couple people
Face
through.
Funk ha
Now that he goes
eliminado
down
a
right now,
Tifu.
above the Storm Surge special, they don't get any more tags now that TP runs down. But really, really unfortunate because if he popped that mini, not only would he been fine against Storm Surge, but I think he would have also survived more against that
On
rocket.
top ahí.
But then it interrupted it, dropped him down, and the perfect
Toda la
timing
gente aquí que está en el
in combination
directo,
with the rocket
dejen su
knocks it
hermoso y sabroso
all the
like,
way
que
down,
se agradece.
unfortunately.
I don't know who said this before.
Ya
but
saben que para
just
más,
along lines, Tifu's one of the most unlucky players. Like, it's
Fortnite
like he always
directos.
has the weirdest. You can't make
Necesito que
this up
sean muy
moments
apoyados
happen.
los
Like that was
directos.
like perfect.
y dejen su like, suscríbanse que es totalmente gratis y que me apoyan un montón a mí y al canal. Recuerden que no está de más utilizar el código ITSBIGRAY27 en la tienda de Fortnite.
They got 4 Elans off of Team Liquid. But now that they control
on
the farm, all of
top.
a sudden they're at 7. I think they must have come from range, or maybe somebody decided to try to
5
push them.
personitas,
Here, in this case, it's Arab's team defending. This is what I'm talking about. They're able to stay inside this house for so long. Look at Arab's materials. So much.
So
It continues
much.
to have literally just an incredible amount of mats that they're able to continue through, because this has brick and wood and quite a number of metal vehicles all throughout the farm.
Si todo lo que necesita atención.
Arab is great at communicating with his squad right here. I really do believe he's the glue to this entire team and their team's success in team fights. That's how they are managing to trap these players up right now. He actually has 6 to 7 elos, maybe more now. Definitely they have more as a team. About 5. and they
In the
have now
Fortnite
9
Battle
faces
Royale.
right there. Wrapping up another
It's
player.
amazing.
Straight out.
So,
See Bunk
it's so amazing.
RPG just before this, 70 players, so it's already kind of happened in terms of story. and
Ahí
the
vayan
timeline.
dejando su like, compartan el directo si les está gustando y suscríbanse que es totalmente gratis. Apoyan a mí y al canal. Y si quieren jugar, agréguenme, ya saben. ID ITSBIGRAY27 espacio LF. Y en mi gamer tag en Xbox SVG Vikings. Los que quieran jugar, ya saben, fines de semana on top. Bueno, tenemos aquí la squad
Down to Arab. I
que
can't
le ha
imagine
quitado
they need any sort of storm
37
surge
de
tags
full,
here.
le ha
Let's see.
roto el escudo.
Position of that fourth zone, half in, half out, about to reveal itself on unknown stream. Look at these angles that they're able to find.
Sí es de
Almost
mando
catching
y
the
se
legs
se
of that player.
controla,
He's only on screen for a
controla.
brief moment, but they all take the opportunity to take tags. Nothing connecting just yet. A rare moment where Unknown Army is not, hundreds and hundreds of damage above the Storm Surge threshold. Only 1 elim for this team so far. Did get half in, half out in the meantime. And they're calling out, it's already a guaranteed second place. Possibly a guaranteed first. They're getting naded and exploded though. And I believe There's a couple different teams. Ooh, Thwifel actually just got a snipe onto Dubs from range. That's the team that they're pushing right now, but Booga gets traded back in terms of a snipe, but they have a full knock. They're going to push up and try to take position underneath this team right here.
Yeah, that's a key knock right here, which allows them to kind of be the catalyst to get this rotation, find the zone.
¿Qué pasa, Jesús?
Was at
Hola,
the cost
brother.
of a lot
Gracias
of
por
health,
pasarte
a
al
lot of
directo.
material nonetheless. Good job on
Ayúdame
Mega
compartiendo
Bezo.
el
Good
directo
save on
y
defense
dejando
up there.
tu like.
Now
Suscríbete
comes
si
the
todavía no lo
counterfire.
estás, crack.
Not happy.
Que hay directitos ahorita.
Focusing them on
Más
right here,
diarios.
resources here. We'll get down
Estoy,
to
de hecho
50
ayer fue mi primer
material.
directo. Y este pues es el segundo que hago.
Not gonna find any refreshers unless they find
Y
players.
pues vi que iba a comenzar la FNSS y dije, pues puede ser interesante hacer una pequeña transmisión en vivo de la FNSS. Espero y les guste. Fori, ¿sabes quién soy? No, bro. ¿Quién eres, hermano?
Playing as hard as possible. Ooh, the Rockets sneak into that base. I didn't really hear too many tags, but they are white. Deeds doing what he can to the team that looks like he wiped out the squad. He didn't get him. That's Ace, actually, part of Zimio's squad.
No, now he's in the zone just a little bit here. He's going to have to push on through. Does have the zone, though. They actually get lucky here. Although they lose Coops in the exchange here and a couple of his other teams. Deeds has to clutch up. He's going to find them right there. It's going to be a clutch point for what it's worth.
El de
Something
Instagram,
is better than nothing, being that they haven't
Astro40.
earned much. He has tons
No
of
me
material. He
suena,
has
bro.
to get off this layer. Into the
Quiero
storm he
entrar a
goes.
ese UV.
More floppers, that is okay. Actually eat a
Con el
fair
que acabo de
amount of
hablar,
that
bro,
for you,
ayer o antier.
Don't get worried about the amount of HP his has. The spectating when you are down.
Ooh, that was
I
actually
can't believe I've never actually seen somebody spend so much time in the fit zone. It's only ticking for 5, which is a difference.
Fui ayer
So,
contigo.
able to
Ya, bro,
basically
ya sé
deal
quién
with
es.
the floppers
Ya sé
and
quién
spend-
eres.
It almost was like, what, 15 seconds in the zone there. That was quite impressive. and
Gracias,
very,
bro,
very
por
smart
pasarte
play. He's good
al
at making the
directito.
rotation in towards that
Muchas gracias,
fit, and
hermano.
looks free for now.
Y gracias por suscribirte al canal.
Oh, no.
Se
he gets hit
agradece.
again just after healing.
Ahí sí me
Now he's
puedes
down
ayudar
to 18
compartiendo el
health.
directo y que se vaya uniendo la gente, hermano. Te lo agradecería un montón.
Pickaxing their way through enemy
Y en vista de
builds
que
right now, I
pues
believe.
como que el directito no está en la mejor calidad,
Tunnel.
si quieres hacerme unas cuantas preguntillas para que no se te haga aburrido el directo, con mucho gusto te las respondo,
Leveling
crack.
their way up after finding
De
themselves
hecho luego haré un
into safety.
directo exclusivo de
Try to get
preguntas
off
y
the pressure
respuestas
zone.
para los que quieran
Difficulty for this squad.
entrar.
No heals in terms of shield. Not a single one that I
¿Por
could
qué
tell
borraste
Booga was spending the time to
el
take
otro
advantage. I
directo?
don't believe anybody has made the
¿Qué
call to
directo,
drop
bro?
anything, and they have
El
a team in front of
directo
them
de
that they
ayer,
need
el que hice ayer,
They're all stuck in such a
está en el canal,
really,
bro.
really awkward
Ahí
position.
sigue el
There's that six
directito.
zone. That is awful for them. Finally,
Tiene
the
como
marketability
100
of Booga
visitas
might be
nada
running
más.
out, and guess who it is on height? It's Arab, inspired Kaz and Aguilar. So the frenzy farm buff is still nice and large for this team. Good connection up ahead, all the way for 6 zone. Look at this tarp. It was very, very risky. One RPG, and it would have been all set
Este
and
buen
done for
hombre
this team.
juega muy
Now,
bien,
they'll
a
definitely be
inicio
able
de
to
la
secure it
partida,
for
los
quite
que
a long
estaban en
time.
inicio de
That's a lot
directo,
of maps, though.
se ve que controlaba un montón este hombre.
He is spending a ton of mats right here trying to hold it down, but he does have that bandage bazooka allowing him to kind of flirt with that zone just a little bit more so than anyone else.
Uy, se han
Looks like
cargado
Booga is going to get
al
eliminated here.
squad.
Stretch as well.
No olvidé
That
quién
team
era.
is slowly but surely getting dismantled as they have to rotate all the way across from the zone
Ahora
here.
vamos a ponerle
Arab just making sure that
tantito
he's
aquí
controlling the height here, tarping out for the team, and the rest of the boys are firing back. Now looking at Nate Hill.
Este
in
también
here.
juega un montón,
Ninja's
el
down in the low
Face,
ground. He gets taken out. Reverse 2K and Funk is
el
still in the running right
Face
now.
Funk, creo que
These
se
are the
llama,
final moments. It's the first
Face Funk,
zone
este juega un
wave
montón.
6. Hits us with the
¿Cuál es tu
rotating zone
squad
right here.
favorita?
Take a look at
¿Dónde
Funk
veo
as he's
esto?
leading out the push. Here you'll see
Tengo que hacer
Arab's
un video por el RC.
masterpiece.
Eh,
of a
Mi
tarp
squad
all the way
favorita,
across
bro,
the
es
field
la
there.
de Macwood, el TCM Macwood
Instantly did
con
that.
TCM
That's
Nextroom
6-1
también.
with
Esos
itself
dos de TCM,
They're still holding
para
on
mí
to
es una de
height.
las
They've got
mejores
10
squads,
Elans
sin
to their
duda
name,
alguna.
5 of them on Arab himself. A couple people in zone. There's another one, a nice knock from Arab. And this is
¿Dónde veo
already setting
esto?
up. We said that's
Real
Blake actually
Disco,
from Clips
esto
team
lo
that he
puedes
took out. What we
encontrar,
said,
bro, en el mejor canal que se llama Like y SUSCRIBIRSE 27, que es su Rankings. Pero nada, no es cierto, bro. El canal original que lo está transmitiendo es este que está aquí, Gratis server. Es el original de esta transmisión, y obviamente allá pues se ve con mejor calidad y demás. Aquí pues están pasando a ver los que pues me apoyan en el canal y platicando un poco conmigo, y ya de paso pues ven la transmisión. Tengo que hacer el review por el RC. Pues Fury, yo digo que sí, bro, porque ahorita ya se cerraron, se podría decir que las posibilidades de entrar al team. Solamente ficharán a unos cuantos si son pues buenardos, acá de nivel extremadamente super bueno, bro. Pero en los próximos 2 meses no se hará ningún fichaje ni nada por el estilo. Así que si quieres tener un level ahí on top, pues ya es tu RC. Y si veo que tienes un nivel muy bueno, pues ya yo te puedo recomendar, bro. Bueno, pues acaban de ganar la partida. Ahí, como les dije, este tipo a principio de la partida sería super on top. Y no sabe ni qué está haciendo el buen hombre. ¿Quién está en primer lugar? En primer lugar, ahorita lo pasan, bro. Ahorita que venga la esta, pasan la tabla y ya yo te digo quién. ¿Transmites en PC? No, o sea, transmito en laptop. Por eso se ve así como que en baja calidad el directo. Lo estoy transmitiendo a 480 y me permite transmitirlo hasta 1080, pero por lo mismo de mi internet que no es el mejor del mundo, transmito a 480 nada más, y por eso se ve así como un poco borroso. SVG Fury, soy bueno, Red Fury, soy bueno, recomiendo a full, ya, bro, pero o sea, con el ratito que jugamos ayer, pues no vi la verdad que tanto level traigas, ni nada de eso, bro. Igual, yo le puedo decir al líder, pero si no tenemos tú y yo amistad, bro, y pues apenas eres nuevo en el canal, pues como que no lo veo recomendable, ¿no? Necesito que me apoyes allá full en el canal, que juegues conmigo, y ya dependiendo tu desempeño, bro, pues ya yo le puedo decir al líder, y ¿sabes qué? Tengo un amigo que es súper bueno, le echa ganas allá al Fortnite, tiene earnings, tiene muchas cosas, pues ya yo le digo, bro, pero mientras así, pues no puedo. El primer lugar va a ganar 1 millón, no exactamente 1 millón, pero sí se va a ganar un buen de pasta. Es 1 millón entre todos los premios, o más de 1 millón entre todos los premios. Pero creo que sí, el primer lugar puede que se lleve hasta 1 millón. On top, muchas gracias a la gente que está pasando en el directo. Ya sé que no es el mejor directo del mundo por la calidad, pero pues lo estoy haciendo a mis posibilidades, y para que ustedes no se pierdan esta final de la FNCS, que pues ya es la última fase, de la FNCS. Jesús, bro, si puedes ahí compartir el directo, te lo agradecería un montón, ¿no? Un montonazo, bro. Ahí por si lo puedes compartir, crack.
On the last day of the FNCS, it's really been a roller coaster of emotions the entire season. 4 weeks of qualifiers and now 2 days of being in the finals. We're in the second half
torneo,
now of
la final,
so far.
Está muy buena. Tú no puedes monetizar. No, Jesús, yo no puedo monetizar por el momento, bro, porque para poder monetizar necesitas 1000 suscriptores en YouTube, que ya cumplí con ese requisito, pero necesito otro requisito que es como que el más difícil de conseguir, que son 4000 horas de reproducción, y yo apenas llevo como unas 600, 500 horas de reproducción, y son 4000 euros. Y pues sí, es como que mucho trabajo eso de las 4000 horas, por eso ahorita estoy haciendo como que directos de este estilo, para que la gente pues me ayude a conseguir los minutos, y también para hacer un poco de entretenimiento, ¿no? Para que la gente tenga esta clase de directos que pues no nos podemos perder. O sea, los amantes del Fortnite o los que están interesados en el competitivo, pues sabrán a lo que me refiero. Saben que estas finales, estos directos, pues son muy entretenidos, pero igual, si los transmito a baja calidad, pues obviamente no es lo mejor del mundo, pero como les digo, lo hago a mis posibilidades, a como yo pueda hacer el directo. Y pues aquí les traigo, o sea, un directito para pasar el rato, o para que también pues se enteren de lo que pasa, ¿no? Face JK, ¿qué pasa, bro? Gracias por pasarte al directito. Muchas gracias, hermano, te agradeces. Ya sabes, bro, deja tu like, comparte el directo, y no hace falta decir que te suscribas, porque sé que hasta tienes la campanita activada, hermano. Muchas gracias, Face JK. ¿Cómo te va? Me va muy bien, Face, aquí un ratillo haciendo directo de el torneo, la final de la FNCS. A ver, en primer lugar va un No Army con Kes, Ronaldo y Averi. En segundo va RBK, Tonside, Inspire, Podcast y Agolor. En tercero va Six Row, Cal y Senso y MUCHOOO. Para mí, la mejor squad pues es la de Six Row o TCM, o sea, es la que yo pues tenía así como que claro que iban a tener un buen desempeño. Pero me está sorprendiendo mucho también la de Stable Ronaldo con Averi. También se nota el level, por eso van en primero de la tabla con 53 puntos. La que sí me está como que defraudando un poco es este squad de Clicks con Spiders MSF Clears, que me está defraudando un poquillo. Yo casi entraba, pero a lo último no pude jugar, se me fue la conexión. Ya, bro, ya. Sí fue muy complicado jugar ese torneo. O sea, están las 25 mejores squads. Por eso es la final de la Fortnite National Champions Series. La de Buga me está decepcionando. Sí, bro, igual, o sea, me la pasé esta semana de los torneos así de semifinales, primera ronda y todo. Estuve viendo directos, streams del Buga, y ahí me la pasaba todo el rato. Y, o sea, veía ya un top al Buga, pero ahorita la verdad sí me está decepcionando un montón, bro. Lo estoy viendo como que muy flojo, como que a lo mejor tiene ahí un miedillo. Y esta squad es la que también se está revelando un poquito, Ya ganaron una partida esta squad. Si se dan cuenta, la mayoría de las squads utilizan la misma skin. Esta squad también ya ganó una partida. Ganó una partida.
Very, very wrong, Bala.
Symphony responded to my tweet.
Tweeting out. He's happy about the attention
On
he's
top,
receiving.
bro.
Anybody would.
They're not way. They're not. Yes, they are. Oh, that you're sure? They're not here. They're not here. They're not here. They will come in. They'll come in late. They'll come in late. They're gonna come in late. They're gonna come in late. Take what you're saying. Lose what you're saying.
Might be coming in late. Not exactly sure where Liquid is. Looks like they might have defended. They are landing. 20 white tag on the other side. I think they pushed him off towards Orchard. Don't forget, guys, both these teams are in contention. Both of these teams are showing that it doesn't matter if every single game you're contested, you can still make do with slightly different drops, slightly different plays. You got to be careful.
Está muy lejos la zona del otro equipo. Sí, bro, les tocó muy lejos, pero igual como cayeron en los túneles estos de aire, pues no va a haber tanto problema.
Whether or not they're going to push in, I definitely say that that's not the play. Liquid, they might play the mind games, they might play the activity games in terms of trying to
Ahí Jesús, si puedes ir compartiendo el directo, bro, se agradece un montón, se agradece demasiado.
Play smart. Don't do anything stupid, he says to his team. Be careful and be diligent here. They are watching nearby, probably. They're going to take the brief mode all the way through.
On top,
kind of hold him out, ping him from a distance, and force him to do something they don't probably want to do here. So he's going to find some good loot right now, though. There it is. You hear the comms right there, kind of catching on to the game plan potentially here. It's just a matter of playing smart and not falling for the tricks.
If I'm Arab, I already have the loot that I want going forward for the game. You know, all the elims that he got were high ground AR shots. Yeah, that's that purple scar. And they're backing down. They're backing off. They're trying to get away as fast as possible. There's a bandage bazooka too. And more shields. So the loot in Arab's favor so far, I have to imagine. It really depends. Gotta be careful, of course. Arab knows exactly the other people. Zayt, Saf, High Sky, and Commandment, you know, they might be friends with Team Liquid, but when it comes to the finals, there's no friendships. They play for the win. This is actually where friendships break. This is where friendships collapse.
I like what they're doing, though. They're rotating right on out of here, not trying to fall into any traps or play any mind games with anyone. They have pretty good loot. Bandage Bazooka here especially plays a good factor in these kind of squad formats, not to mention the Epic AR sitting in the inventory right now, so they're going to be good for a little bit. Take a look at Clicks, though, who has been tagged way down to whites right now. I'm not sure if they got to catch some elims off of this, but it's a battle on the bridge right now. We know they went down towards Loot Lake, somehow found their way back up towards the bridge here, going back and resorting to their normal route back across the mountain. That's probably Air's team right there rotating out of the farm. Could be potentially.
The team that definitely probably feels that they're underperforming. Only 10 points at this point. Team Arab have officially set the all-time FNCS point record.
What?
Sure what that means. For one game, actually.
They
wow.
The most elims in that last game?
23 elims was the final count for Arab. We were so caught up in the moment, so caught up in the excitement, so caught up in the fight. Arab's clutch. They actually broke records. 23
A ver la tienda de hoy. Si me gusta algo, te lo envío por Insta con tu hermoso código. Muchas gracias, Jesús. Se agradece, bro, que utilices mi código en la tienda de Fortnite. Hay código ITRICRAY27 en the shop Fortnite Battle Royale. Se agradece un montonazo. Ya saben los que utilizan mi código en la tienda de Fortnite, aunque no hagan ni una compra, pero utilicen ahí mi código, mándenme foto o etiquétenme en Instagram, que es donde estoy muy activo. Lo subo a mis historias y aparte los agrego para jugar un rato.
And now that Gandhi and company are out of Lazy Lake, it looks like Book's squad may have actually taken some of Lazy Lake. Very interesting here.
That's what I was going to mention. I was like, wait, Gandhi and Frat, they had Lazy Lake. They kept fighting off the bat. Maybe they tried something different. Tried landing on Nate Hill and reverse over by the stacks, and that was not enough. Taken out.
Ahí Jesús, bro, si quieres hacer unas cuantas preguntillas, no sé, para que no se te haga aburrido el directo, sin problema, bro. Para eso también hago los directos, para que la gente me vaya conociendo un poquillo más y les guste pues más mi contenido.
There's a replay of Macwood, Zexor, Kak, and Vinny again, uncontested. All 4 players are in the game, so nothing unfortunate there. It's interesting that I have to even think about that going on. 37 points for them. A quiet game 2 and 3. Obviously, most of their points coming from that game 1 victory. The back-to-back so far isn't coming too crazy. Hold on, what is Haz doing?
So we thought originally at the Orchard was probably the Liquid Boys, but it looks like that's Perplex,
Hold on a sec.
Knight, and someone else up there.
So much development.
How is Frat
Not sure what
taken
happened.
out, but Gandhi's whole team's alive? Yeah,
Well, Frat, remember, we saw the fight with Nate Hill and him. Nate Hill outplayed him on the zip line. That was
Right.
Frat. So people are all of a sudden making such crazy different splits. I'm very confused as to
Rob
all the
Choice.
different developments. I think
¿Crees
that,
que
that
después
replay was maybe
en un
ahead
año
of time. So
haya una nueva
Who
World
knows?
Cup en solos?
Definitely a mix-up of drop.
No sé la verdad, bro, porque,
Jumping into the
o sea,
game
para
right
mí Fortnite todavía tiene pues
I'm
igual
gonna try to get an update on
mucho
where
futuro,
Liquid is in this game,
pero en el nivel competitivo,
because clearly
pues
Fair,
igual, o
remember,
sea,
we
lo
had
veo
the
igual,
contested.
un buen juego para el competitivo,
they were dropping late. They thought
Y
they were gonna
espero
grief them.
y pues obviamente sigue así,
Posick Mill
y
and
yo creo
Mikey
que
are
sí, bro, que
missing
sí va a haber una
Smack
World
this
Cup
game.
en solos,
In a bit of
o
a
algo
fight
que tenga
outside
que ver
of
con
Sweaty
la
Sands.
World
This is
Cup,
where they
pero de que
drop.
va a haber una, va a haber una. De hecho, falta poquillo para que venga una Winter Royale, que va a estar pues súper buena ahí.
Box fight right here. Big shot's gonna get traded out. Does not confirm the edit in time though. Asylum's gonna take him out. Pulsic goes down. Niddle is still here though. He's kind of lurking on by. He's still looking to take this fight. Notice how he's listening in right now. Does have the compact SMG, but the RPG is gonna rip apart the shield. This is not looking good for Mbala.
Not at all. Middle, Posick, Mikey, and smacked, missing one, and then getting pushed outside of Sweaty Sands. Such a difficult spot to contest, let alone contest as a trio. So the vibes are definitely going to get destroyed. Now we're watching Unknown. It looks like they're W-king a team outside of Slurpy Swamps in between Weeping Woods. And again, choosing and opting to back down here. You see it. This is Lucky.
¿Cuál es tu skin favorita? Mi skin favorita es la regateadora, que es la futbolista china, la que más utilizo, o por la que me conocen. De ahí en fuera tengo pues la cristal, que es la que estoy ocupando también mucho, pero ese skin de la futbolista me gusta mucho, la verdad.
Now back to Unknown Army. Interesting note from our stats team. They say that Unknown Army obviously deserves all the praise that he gets, but this team isn't just unknown. Ronaldo has actually led his team with 14.71 points contributed in clutch situations, which is when it's at least a man down.
Oh, it actually took you guys so long to box me up.
But I'm not even sure how many clutch situations there are on this team, because they're kind of like a bulldozer when it comes to endgame. Every single player just rocking it moving forward.
Look at all the fish that they have just from having the Slurpy Swamps themselves. Really allows them to bounce back. Even now, just exercising patience here, trying to save and conserve those fish, going for the loot instead. Stretch is actually down. Once again, it seems like he's been the first to fall in the team today so far. Booga left to fend with clarity. Dwifo here, the nade spam is coming in. One's going to connect though. Booga, the champ, is going to get taken out. And Clarity gets caught as well. So that's a 2-for-1 special from Jeremy right there.
I'm popping this big.
Entire squad wipe, the instant leave from Booga that he's so classic with. Doesn't like to show anything on screen. Makes it more difficult for us, but hey, that's you know, the situation yesterday where he ended up going down in endgame and Zimio dancing on him is exactly what he wants to try to avoid, because just ruins your mood, even though it's all for fun, even though we enjoy it as spectators, we enjoy the banter and trash talk that Zimio put on. But as a pro player, it ruins your mood for sure. Nice shot with the RPG onto Steens. This is the team that actually wiped Booga's squad, so all of a sudden it's a three-way fight, but Booga is out. Clicks, Crims, Blake, Spades maybe coming at the perfect time to wipe up this fight. Unknown Army actually might be involved in this too.
Oh no, Clicks is gonna get hit by a grenade right there, and the follow-up of the AR, who I believe it's Coop from Team Evade right there, is gonna take him out. Lucky for him, he is gonna get picked up and tossed back to the metal builds right here. Definitely one of the coolest features of the new season. Definitely makes for better situations and saves like this. Lucky for him. Gonna bounce right back into the game, but jumping in with Arab here. He's got eyes on this fight as well. Remember, they're all in the Weeping Woods, just south of them. That's where Clicks was. That's where Booga's team was.
Interesting stat is that there's only 2 teams who were outside of top 10, really all the way back towards the end of the leaderboard, 22 and 22nd or 23rd, respectively, for Arab and Niddle's team. Now they're in the top 10. Arab still up. Niddle, obviously, we saw how they went out. Wow, a lot of damage has actually been taken by Vinny, Zexro, Macwood, and Calc. I'm not sure how their HP is so low. They must have stayed in zone. Now they're land boating and making their rotation. We know where second zone is. We know where third is. But they have to move through so many players. This is where they hop out. And zone still, it's not moving anymore, but they got so far with that boat. Good rotate from them. A lot of time spent in zone means they spent a lot of time looting. We saw 4 floppers and a bunch of inventory. And this fight is actually 4 ways now. Kanata, Fiber, Tifu, and Cloaks here involved too.
That's right. Everyone seems to be coming in from this east to west rotation, and just landing up on top of one another. Now jumping in with Clicks, who's making the counter rotation. A little bit more southern here, right underneath what looked like to be Arab's base up here. It might still be in there, to be honest, if not just ahead of them. This is why the rotation matters that much more, to get ahead of them before it's too late here. This is actually a bit of an alpha push up, trying to get a little bit of high ground taken up and over this team right here. They become the focus point. Here Clicks telling the team, let's play for placement.
Again, more nades coming in. This team can't find a break. But hey, that's what happens when you get involved in a 4-way fight. Everybody else on the server is targeting you. There's so many possible eliminations in here, but this entire squad, still 4 players up.
You can hear what he says. We need some more RPGs because we have 2. But they want to prioritize placement right here for sure.
Oh,
Looking at the other perspective here, this is how Booga, Twifle, and Stretch kind of caught themselves in that weird situation.
Oh,
and
no!
What?
The glitch where you jump off the zip line and land in water, it actually doesn't prevent fall damage like it's supposed to, both the water or the zip line. It's as if the effect cancels out. We have to be aware of that as
like,
players,
hey,
I guess.
You gonna save him, water, or should I, the zip line, do it? Nah, it's all good.
The drastic change in
Hashtag
Booga's fortune.
marketed.
Yeah, the drastic change in Booga's fortune and marketability is still under effect. Not a single zone going in his favor. And even the game working against him now, something that he's so knowledgeable about. End up slipping. Here's Unknown Army, Kez, Avery, Ronaldo. The team with, as of right now, the best chance of winning the entire thing. And that would be a huge surprise to pretty much everybody in the community. This is a statement from them right now, leading the top of the pack at 54. We still got, of course, 3 games to go. This is game number 4. And probably the turning point for most teams, whether they can stay in contention or whether they have different fates.
Jacob Aki, Gage, Tosley, Punisher haven't made it to the end game. We've had their fees this entire time, haven't quite seen him. Only 3 points on the board for them, having a struggle. Not any worse than poor Turkey Lips, who scored 1 point the other day and kind of joked about it on the media. So there's Unknown Army's team, though, leading the push right now. The burst in the hands of Unknown Army is so deadly.
I have like none.
Still has all those floppers and slurp fish, exactly why he was conserving it before. Clicks finds the zone of 50-50. That's actually perfect for them. They came in late.
RPG. Not finding anything, I believe. Based on how many people we saw involved in this fight, Tfue was probably in this position as well. So this half and half out, actually favoring the majority of teams in the game. There's actually a double edit possibility. Arab is involved. Oh, they get knocked out by nades. It's OSP who takes him out. A team that qualified in the last heat yesterday. Arab's team, I don't believe, got any points in that game, but not at the hands of Team Liquid. So the mind games are there. We'll see if it's a full difference. Team Liquid backing
Ojo
up
con el
play.
play.
Go back even to the farm. We saw
Hasta
in
que
EU Heat 1.
se pasa el directito, no se haya pasado para nada el play. Andaba un poco dormidete.
Crazy undervalued in competitive Fortnite.
Air team is confirmed out. No points gained that round. That gives teams like Clicks and these other crews here to kind of come back up and shake up that top 10.
Ojito al chino, que tiene como que la cara más blanca que un pie lleno de talco. A ver, hijo, despégate después de la pantalla un poco.
Canada and Fiber, the only players left on this crew right here, looking for the cone takes right now, trying to see if they can find a team that's below.
Aquí tenemos al hermoso y fantástico Clicks.
Right now. It's Spades. They're carrying him into the zone. A little bit of a rescue mission right here.
Uf, lo han bajado uno de los squad de Clicks.
More RPGs trying to come out, but I believe they're starting to run out.
De una manera
Times where they would have
espectacular.
wanted all this double RPGs. I don't think they're gonna be able to pick up Spades, but this tunnel is very long, and they're still holding on. Clicks is in zone now.
Alex.
Are they carrying Spades? No, he's down and out. So much damage above Storm Surge. This finals is popping off. Canada, Tfue, Cloaksy, and Fiber might have won a game, but right now they
Clicks
only
para
have 2
mí
players
es uno de
up.
los mejores
Without the high ground, that's where they
en
tend
One
to win
Piece.
from.
Pero para creativo, digo para creativo, pero para competitivo, siento que le falta un poco más. O sea, para One Piece es una locura, es una bestia. Pero para torneos, siento que le falta un poco.
Lowering the elevation, recognizing that a ball was a little too high, reading the map perfectly, even on a full-on sprint across the field.
Igual sabe rotar y demás, pero siento que le falta un poco. Y aquí se me ha parado un poco, no sé por qué.
Picked up 2 as well, so that team has a possibility to overtake Unknown Army and has been battling them at the top of the leaderboards. We've been focused on so many different threads, but here Unknown is in endgame. Zaxro is in the same position too. Mid-ground now for Unknown Army, Kaz, Avery, and Ronaldo. The RPGs come in, and immediately Unknown's trying to take out the players down below. They find another layer, and he does come in with the save onto Ronaldo. Avery is down and out, but now in the zone. Unfortunately, everything seems to be going wrong, but they've got floppers left and right. Both of them have them, and the zone comes back.
Yeah, look, he's saving them. He's not even using it for shield. Oh, there it is. Okay, he decides, you know what? He wants the shield right there. That was a bit interesting for a second there, but that Elam was important. It does give him a little bit of material because he was actually on a big donut for Mats right there for a second. He's going to change layer. Now Clicks, once again, in the same position. Low material right now, using all of his mats. His teammates are going to split some. Wasn't much, though. It was just 40. It looks like Unknown is going for the safety route, eating in the storm to play for placement right now.
It's Kauk who takes out Clicks. Actually there, so 4 elims for him. He's already dropping down to low ground. It might be them on a height. Kez does get knocked. No, he knocks actually. Dubs. Oh, from the zone, Unknown gets 1, maybe gets 2. Both of these players in zone. I'm not sure why. They're both here. They must have so many fish. He even has more. He takes out Bizzle as well, who might have fallen to fall damage, and he has to start the trek I don't think he has any more siphon coming in. This might be the end. Hold on, there's another player unknown in zone. Grabs two and possibly one more. No, he finally goes down in the zone. Down gets count two. And Kez, all of a sudden, I believe the game is still going. Kez in a 1v. No, his team is completely eliminated. The screech has come out unknown. That was wild.
The shot that he hit on Calc still converted because his teammate was in the game for like a split second longer. So it was still his Elam. They still get the point for that. That was huge.
We'll hop back over, hopefully into replay mode so we can see exactly how that all went, because Mega got a couple of Elams. Commandment, Saf, Zayton, High Sky were again in the
as possibly being one of the best players in the world, and then has quite the phenomenal performance and decision making at the end there. He was holding off those floppers for so long. You guys see the power of it. Commandment catches OSP. These are finally the kind of Elam chains that we're used to seeing for this squad right here. As they're finally starting to rack some up right now. 7 for the crew and endgame, as you would expect of High Sky and the boys. Here's Zexro. Ball, I know you were keeping an eye on them.
He's actually the player who knocked a lot of the HP off of the Click Scrims Blake and Spade squad. Got a couple. And who else is in the end game? No placements for that team though. Reverse Ninja, Funk Bomb, and Nate Hill. They end up going down. Calc, Zexro, Macwood, and Vinny still hanging on the lowest mid ground. He's coming through as well, finding themselves more. Yes, he does find actually Ando, who had such a performance too. On the top 8 accruing placement points, they're at 44. This is where they start to rack in the swap perspectives again. Look, that's where Avery and everything else. Meanwhile, Saf, Zayt, High Sky, and Commandment, they're still in this. It's when the zone backed up for Unknown Army Kez when they were using the fish.
You can just see the Elam feed lighting up. Crims catches Avery. Unknown traded out somewhere right there. Zayt finishes up Zexro, actually. That's how that kind of unfolded. It was just a huge tug of war. There goes Mega. Picks up. Picks up Ronaldo. Commandment leading out with High Sky here in the build for the zone. Production tries to catch the angle so you guys can see how many players are in the running right here. It's all just kind of going down.
We did have Mega, Doves, Bizzle, and Eclipse on high ground, but it was Vanguard Calc mixed with a player out of team, but on his org, Vanguard Kez slaying out in this game. They traded people, and then High Sky, Zayton, Commandment actually took height on Bizzle, Mega, Dubs, and as Unknown Army was spraying at them, he took Mega, and then Bizzle went down to everybody else. They wipe it. This is what they're known for. This is what they're so good at. The last second height takes, the perfect opportunities, keeping tabs on everybody. Commandment at 4, Elam, Zaf at 5. That puts them at a total of 9 plus 5, 14. 16 Elams.
Is it 16?
And from Saf, Zayt, High Sky, and Commandment, all of a sudden they're now also pushing up and catching up probably to Zexro and company. I'm not sure how far Unknown and company are ahead, because I'm at about 84, 85 points and wiping the floor with everybody in this finals day.
Yeah, at the end of that game right there, Unknown catches Bizzle. Like I said, that other one on Calc just catching a tag that converted to another point for Unknown. So it's no surprise those guys will be clear in the lead. But with the 15 bomb dropped, at least for Zay and his team, that's going to be huge for them to finally put them in the running as we approach the tail end of the race right here. Remember, at the very least, you still want to break top 10. You still want to hit those other prize thresholds. It's a lot of money on the line, even if you can't quite catch up to Unknown and his crew.
Yeah, we'll see where the leaderboards shake up. I'm waiting to see if they are updated. Not quite yet. And then, of course, we have to wait to get them on our screen, but so many different threads are unfolding here on NA. It's hard to keep track. There's so many people not only in contention, but also making a name. I did not see Liquid. I did not see Team Liquid in towards that end game. The split that they might have done and falling off of Frenzy might not have been good enough for them. So we'll see. Maybe they end up clapping back in game 5, but we are going to take a break while we get some caster swaps and wait for the leaderboard. We'll be right back with the final 2 games of NA East. We'll see you then.
But it was just, I was 1 HP, but. Oh, yeah. So, listen, I feel like Space, I saw how you died. Space, I saw it.
Yes, 23 points. They have to like, they could die off rip, and they have. Oh my god, they have. Yeah.
Game 9 is underway, and the dynamic duo is back. I'm BallerTW, joined now by Shio Wager. Thanks for Monster D-Face joining the cast. Shio, these games have been amazing. We're going to hop straight into leaderboards before we hop into the game. Of course, there's tons of developments. Unknown Army is quite ahead, so don't worry, guys. We'll be able to catch everything because the delay is there. Here is where the leaderboard is right now. Tifu's team seems to be falling out. They're now 8th place right now, but don't forget, I guess, 10th place is going to be getting those 8 extra placement thresholds. Unknown Army, Kez, Ronaldo, and Avery are still hanging on at the top.
Yeah, this leaderboard is looking to me kind of like right now a bridge you see all the way up in Asia. You know, some of those planks falling down, those step ladder steps kind of trickling all the way to the bottom. We've had a bunch of people get the taste for 2nd place, 3rd place. Arab's team after game 3 was all the way up there. The victors have also been different every single time. And now it's all about getting that bridge sturdy once again. Game 5 is about to start. I believe we are in game, so let's jump in. Keep that leaderboard in mind. 74 points, the 1st place team. We're tuning in with Unknown. Cross regions once again. Slurpee stays uncontested.
Stays uncontested. And the fortune continues here for Unknown Army. Every time we tuned into him in heats, it felt like, sure, they already have Slurpee contested, but the icing on the cake, Llama's every game apparently, and we might have a new most marketable player in Fortnite. Unknown Army might have taken the title from Booga.
Yeah, he might be the most marketable player. We're watching one of the most unmarketable community members at the moment, the villain of one of the sides of the fight that's going on at Frenzy Farm. It's Arab. I would say Liquid are the good guys for a lot of people. He does have a lot of fans though, but you know, both followings now rising up. We're gonna see exactly how things will fall down. Last game, Liquid chose to get that barn, a big point of contention. Arab chose to have that one chest up in that nice cornfield. At the same time, these guys didn't see each other. There was no fight, and at the same time, there was no end game presence. So now, will these guys be contested? There is a team right beside them.
2 teams?
Two teams. We saw Has the Great Perplexity Company ended up sneaking at the last second after Herb had left because they were so worried that Liquid was late dropping and going to push onto them.
Three teams here at Frenzy moving in is what I'm seeing from the questions or answers back at production. Arab actually going for his chest all the way through. And now it's going to be start moving through. Finally gets one knock is there on the squad. He's going to be going for this chest, aptly farming it as well to make sure he gets an extra mat out or two after every single one.
Alright, I'm coming in. I got a big pot. I have pistols and SMGs.
He has a big pot pistol. SMG's moving forward. 91 players left alive as well. It's a complete chaos. We said before, there's multiple teams beside over here, and the games are closing in. You're going to want these off-spawn eliminations 100%. Haz was at Orchard, kind of, biding his time. Endgame, haven't seen him too much. Mid-game does have nades onto some high-profile candidates, but you need the momentum off at the beginning of the game. Eliminating 2 squads back-to-back, that is the highest speed you can operate on.
That is the highest speed you can operate on, but also the highest risk you can operate on. Haz the Great does get in. That is one of the teams contesting here. It must be Liquid Haz and Arab, because right now it looks like somebody has controlled the center island, or the center, I don't know, I keep saying center highland. It's the center building, one of the most powerful positions. That and the big red barn. Frenzy, all of a sudden, it's not a killing field, but it's people running away in all directions. They say, no, I don't want any chance here. I don't want to fight at all. Please let me live. Don't chase me down. I gotta get out of here. They're taking the corner.
No le presté tanta atención a la de Europa, bro, porque pues solamente estuve checando los directos y los streams de gente que es de costa este y costa oeste. La de Europa, Brasil y todo eso casi no me metí tanto a checarlo, pero fútbol ahí checa porfa, a ver qué onda.
Away like we did in those qualifying rounds.
I believe they're going over to where Liquid actually landed last game.
Oh no.
Another issue here. Clicks, Crims. I'm not sure I have it's Blake Spades again. The missing member of this squad. Clicks is also split with this team with 4 members of another team rotating through their land, their turf, their territory. And if they notice that Clicks is solo, it could be terrible moving forward.
Could be on their territory, but Clicks could be leading them like dogs lead sheep to a farm right next to Blake and Crims. They are moving that way. A complete possibility. One unfortunate thing for Unknown is not having zone for Slurp. He's going to have to move over once again, but if they have a tarp akin to last game and they play the game of zones properly, they might have a big success in getting more and more points. Don't even need wins if you're all the way that far ahead at the top.
Speaking of success and key points,
I'm ready to start rotating.
look at this loot. The legendary AUG, legendary burst rifle. You've seen what Unknown's been doing with it. That was actually the reason why he was able to take out Bizzle and Eclipse in the last, no, sorry, Mega in the last game from height. 3 Slurpfish. No floppers just yet. It's time to move. We saw how far north the zone is. We saw how early that one team was rotating below Clicks. There's another team that's rotating early a lot. Tfue, Cloaksy, Canada, and Fiber. They're so far ahead, and they're always leaving steamy stacks ahead. This is way behind now. Speaking of ahead or behind, this is maybe why this fight started in the first place. No, I don't believe so. Look how split they are. This is very delayed, which is very interesting from Tfue, deciding, hey, it's not worth it. The delay on finals day. Let's just add it.
Man dives right in. I believe people might have been saying Ninja is the person being pushed here, but we'll have to see if there are any knocks or if we have a replay available a little bit ahead in time. At the same point, I got to stress it, 2 more games left. These spots off spawn are getting so intense. Game after game. The big thing to also mention is how much
Es RC, es VG.
These guys practice so much, are so used to certain people moving in certain ways. It changes game to game. Usually, you'll never see them fault to grenade strats, but it's happening time and time again. So much so last game, I think we saw 6 different teams get naded multiple times.
Here is that fight. Ended up breaking down. Not taking height right off the break. You said this might be Ninja Squad. I wouldn't be surprised based on the rotation path moving slightly left, slightly south for Tfue Squad. Means that they do end up in the path of where you would be leaving the dusty
the shots coming in. Big RPGs actually flying back as well, straight to Tfue. He's going to be the first person to lose all his shield in this actual fight. Going to be going for the box fight method now, but has metal to actually get through in the way. As we all know, that is the hardest mat. At the same time, this man performs under the hardest of circumstances, still going for a wall replacement, only owning the pyramid of that box. Of course, the wall as well, in case he wants to retreat. This fight's going to start developing. A big 97 damage shot coming down with just a green tactical shotgun. Not sure exactly what these enemies will have in tow for him, but if he's leading the charge, does it really matter? Getting the shots off first, still trying to take over walls. Is it a possibility the rest of the server stands in a stalemate? No one actually getting eliminated. These guys will be the pioneers of the first type of aggression we see.
Crazy fight breaking out. Even nades coming in from the other side. One gets knocked on this. There's another one. Nice shot from Tfue with attack shotgun. It's actually Wifo Booga stretched in Clarity G, who just got wiped. It looks like by two different squads. The nades coming in from somebody else, and then Tfue cleaning up. A good fight by them. I'm not sure exactly why Retail Row was rotating in this direction, moving straight north. That's something that they like to do a lot. And in this case, rotating into Tfue, Canada, Fiber, and Cloaksy. They can't be happy about that.
Sometimes when push comes to shove, you start to speed up your rotations early on.
Tfue está en promedio, bro. Lleva 37 puntos. Va como en el top 9, 10 tal vez.
Those things have unlimited ammo. So unless these guys move, doesn't matter if even the scene type changes, that damage is going to be coming in time and time again. They're going to be coming.
Si llegamos ahorita a los 15 espectadores y 30 likes, sortearé o regalaré 1200 pavos, una skin de 1200 V-Bucks al que esté más on top en el directo, o también a la persona que traiga más gente al directo ahorita. Quiero ver el chat ahí petándolo, y nada más me pasa su ID, lo agrego y nada más espera al tercer día de que ya me deje enviarle regalos, le envío la skin de 1200.
It happens. Wow. The play from Canada to go back to Dirty Docks and revive Fiber. That's a teammate if I've ever seen one. Meanwhile, Cloaksy and Tfue are carving their way up all the way in towards zone. That's a play and a half from Canada to bring back a teammate, a whole teammate. So important. Here is what unfolded over in Frenzy Farm. Three-way 50-50 for the main house. And I think actually Arab's team is going to be the guys who get the best of that because they back off the house and say, no, I don't want this. Here, 72 Hours is lucky. They actually take out. Not sure exactly who that is. So this troll name has the great comes into. They're going to wipe this, I believe. Night Perplexity.
Ojito el Cort, ¿qué pasa, Cort? Igual aquí está el Descripcion.
Meanwhile goes down. He seems to
¿Qué onda, guapos? Gracias por pasarse el directo. Ahí dejen su hermoso like. Pero ya dije, si llegamos a los 15 espectadores y a los 30 likes, al que esté más on top o al que haya traído más gente al directo, le regalo una skin de 1200 pavos. Le envió Soli por Epic y al tercer día le vendrá cayendo la skin. Recuerden que ahorita estamos en Navidad y si fuera ustedes me pongo las pilas trayendo gente. ¿Cómo que ya lo dejaste? ¿Ya no juegas al Fortnite, Destrix? ¿Ya se acabó? ¿O qué pasó, bro?
Qualified for the finals. Playing the farms. They're all coming home. Meanwhile, the troubles continue for Clicks. Prim, Spades, and Blake is already only 3 players. It looks like that split that Clicks was working off of ended up being so poor for him.
Miren,
because
por
of
los
that
que
team
no
that
me
came through.
entendieron,
Prims is down,
somos
Fox is down,
3
and Blake is
personas en el
underscore surge
directo.
because he's one person. It's impossible for him to get tags
2120 suscriptores.
saying, hey, I'm
No
a
es
solo
posible
over
que haya
here, don't
tanta,
worry. He's trying to
digo,
go
o
through
sea,
though.
poca
I don't think
gente
he's
en el
gonna have
directo.
enough. He does have 2 minis. That takes every single tag.
Si llegamos a los 15 espectadores ahorita,
You never know. Here's Cal.
regalo
Backwards X-row.
1200 pavos, 1200 V-Bucks
Had a good performance last game.
a los que están ahorita.
Commandment at 51 points right now.
Por ejemplo,
Still, I believe
si
he's
está
in
aquí el
place.
Court o el Destrix,
20
si ellos me
points
traen a
plus
15 personas, les regalo
First place
1200
spin under
V-Bucks,
Army Company. Look at this split
un
from
skin
Macro
de
Pivot and
1200.
Calc. They've actually controlled the north
Así
side of
que
the
ustedes dicen
northwest side of the map
si
completely.
invitan o no invitan
Look at the
a
names on the
gente.
northwest side of the map. These are some hard-hitting teams who have a shot at the top spot of the leaderboard. Everyone also is living as well right beside each other.
You see Arab Kaz is
Sí,
firing. They might have fought the farm, but they went
Jesús.
back to their original plan, which was this Aggie research facility up on the north side. Quick, meanwhile, they did wipe Perplexity Knight and Company, and they have a nice big split across Frenzy Farm.
Sí, Jesús, es fácil activar la autentificación de la cuenta. Destrix, ¿sí que es válido que entre con 10 celulares? Mira, Destrix, no me interesa con si son 10 cuentas tuyas, lo que quieras. Pero mientras en el directo diga 15 espectadores, pero o sea, 15 espectadores ahí o sea, juntos, bro. No que venga uno y diga, vengo por parte de Destrix, vengo por parte de Destrix, así. Pues porque sé que eres tú. Pero que estén ahí 15 espectadores viendo el directo, bro. Durante unos 3 minutos, 5 minutos, pero que ahí estén a tope. Te regalo un skin de 1200 Destrix. Y estamos en directo, no hay de que no me lo regalaste, que no sé qué. El Destrix, bro. TPP Destrix XD. Ojo, el Destrix ya está con sus 2 cuentas allá a tope.
Stage number 2 going into the heats. They didn't quite have a blow-up performance when they qualified, but obviously they did make it through. Meanwhile, Macwood and Calculator, I believe.
Necesitamos llegar a los 15 espectadores para regalar 1200 V-Bucks. Así que ustedes dicen.
Third zone or maybe fourth zone, yes.
Ustedes dicen.
Fiber Tifa and Pokesy, they look like they're playing as a solo right now, not even covering their bases.
Jesús, ahí ayúdame a compartir el directo, bro. Que se agradece un montonazo. Ya como quiera, pues ya no vamos a tardar mucho en directo. Creo que esta es la penúltima partida para que se acabe el torneo.
I know what you're doing there. I know exactly what you're doing there. If you're playing in the community bingo, let me pull it up for you guys so I can say all the different terms.
Uy, se lo acaban de deletrear hermoso.
Shout out to Hey I'm Hart on Twitter. They actually did do a community bingo for the finals. It's quite entertaining. Go check it out. Meanwhile, it's time to pounce for Canada, Tifu, Fiber, and Closey. I believe they do get an elim and probably some mats too off of it.
Uf, 12.
X in the chat. This is not something you want to see as a competitive Fortnite player. The feeling that all of us are very familiar with getting sprayed by multiple teams and explodes. Tough to reckon with. Canada still has 220 metal to work with, but that's not really enough to sustain an entire team. And now
Ya lo estoy viendo desde la one. Ojo, Destrix, son todo
has
ahí.
gone to head because all of a sudden they're all split. Canada by himself. Tifu went a different route. They're playing so difficult, the situation there. The freeze comes
Todo
in. They do
Destrix
make it
ahí
into zone.
apoyando
Fiber
al
gets
canal
him.
on
They might
top.
be able to pick him up one more time. Meanwhile, the people who caused all this hurt on Tifu squad in the first place, Snake Hill, Funk Bomb, Reverse 2K, and Ninja.
Oh, Ninja. Ninja.
I think they might have just gotten zoned. Tifu, Cloaksy, Fiber, and Kanata. They definitely did.
Compartan el directo para estar
So
on
the
top ahí.
unfortunate circumstances finally do end up ending. Here, Unknown Army, our first place team. They're making their way towards zone as well, not too far. They're almost in. 75
Este
points.
hombre
They
juega
continue
súper
to
bien.
have a good game.
Juega en
They will
Xbox.
secure this. This is basically right here, right now. If they have anything above like 10 or 20 points, it might be the end for everybody else. Zexro, Macwood, Kalk, Vinny, these guys are crossing their fingers. They're crossing their fingers that Unknown Army and them do not have another pop-off game, because if they
Instead of the
do,
pop-off
their
game.
chances of going back-to-back are close to nil. Even more so for a team like Zayton.
No hay problema, Destrix. Mientras tenga 15 espectadores o más de 15 espectadores, crack,
That's when I like watching them most as well when it comes
te
to
ganas el
always
premiaco.
have a way to just tack back and clap, get those Elam points up
Y ya de
and
paso, si
somehow
quieren que me
use the
agreguen y al rato jugar,
instantly to keep moving forward.
también
Right now,
se
though,
puede, bro.
back investment.
También se puede. Mañana hay nuevo video. Mañana por la tarde, nuevo video en el canal.
Unknown having one of the most dominant runs in Fortnite history. Not
Es
only
un video
in the
tranquilo,
finals,
dura
as the
como
stats say,
3
but in
minutos nada
recent
más.
weeks and history. We knew about it a little bit before, but Ball has analyzed it over on his YouTube channel with his VOD reviews. This man getting fifth on mouse and keyboard.
Yo digo que va a ganar
and
la
winning
squad
Ash Cups as
de
well, time and time
el,
again with his controller.
del hombre
There's no
de
excuse in
consola.
saying
El que
that
juega
he's
en
probably
Xbox,
the
siento
best
que va a ganar
player
esa
around.
squad. Llevan ya como 74 puntos
Seahart.
y se ven que
It's
están
not
ahí
me
en
at all
top.
who mentions VOD reviews.
De hecho, aunque
It's
queden
always
en el
my
mínimo puesto, ya
co-casters.
están
I
ganando
never
ahí
say it.
un poco
I
de
never
pasta.
talk about it. Unknown Army, though, putting on a show for everybody in the lobby right now. Nate Hill, Funk Bomb, Reverse 2K, and Ninja also have a chance to contend towards the top, but I don't think anybody expects them to be able to catch Unknown Army at this point.
Right now, the high ground is controlled, but at a big cost. No brick
Battle
available.
Gold
No
review
wood.
coming soon. Ojito.
We're seeing some type of progress coming forward. Now zooming a little bit into
On
the
top,
future,
on
the first
top.
zone going to Unknown, instantly looking over his shoulder and finding something in his blind spot, trying to harpoon back, but at a big cost, taking up a chunk of his HP. They still have the utmost highest mat or tarp layer, but at the same time, is it safe?
Esta es la squad que les digo que va a ganar. Siento que va a ganar.
Unknown needs some type of help.
Este hombre juega en Xbox, pero trae un montón.
They don't have a win yet, so to cap it off with
Vamos a ponerlo en 720 tantito. Espera y no vaya super lag. Como quiera ahorita, si no lo regresamos a
a
480.
win in game number 5 would be incredible.
se ve
Avery's
igual.
down, though.
Se ve igual y va trabado.
Known Kez.
Oh!
And Ronaldo, he does drop behind. Gets a tag, but nothing too crazy. They're all
hombre es el
split
que
on
va a
high ground.
ganar
They're playing this
el
quite
torneo.
well. All the different options. Avery yelling from the grave, saying, "Get placement! You must get placement!" I would love to see a win here, but Unknown Army, no materials. He might be down and out of the game, but the
Pero no
movement is so
pasa
good. He actually
nada.
gets back to his
Este
teammate.
hombre
Low HP. He doesn't have any more
No le
slugfish,
preocupa
which
nada.
was the
Va a
key to
morir, va a
success in
morir.
last game.
Es que como para que
And
se
all of a
metió ahí.
sudden, there's a chance for everybody else in the lobby. Zayt, Sapphire Sky, and Commandment, Nate Hill, Reverse 2K, Ninja, and Funk Bomb.
Bueno,
Zexro,
la
Matt,
verdad,
Vinny, and Cal, they have a
si la
chance
squad
now,
que iba en
but Unknown
segundo
Army, they have a very, very poor game
hace
in their
un muy buen
standards.
papel, si es que no han muerto.
And if they have a good performance here, all of a
Yo
sudden
digo
they can
que
close the gap and
pueden
make sixth
cambiar
game
los
one of the most
papeles.
interesting games here in NAE's final.
Very hard for these teammates to come right back together.
Meanwhile, I see two Elims. Zexro got one and Count got one. There's another one from Zexro in the feed. That means they're up.
Ahí
and
está, se me ha ido un
if they're
poco la
up, they're
conexión,
probably
pero
on
no
high ground. That's been
pasa
the story
nada.
every single time. The first will get the full perspective and replay. I say it every time, but I just want to stress the importance of that nice open from Posick.
Dale, Destrix, cuéntame cómo te ha ido, crack.
He's going to be able to get that player unawares now moving forward, continuing to move forward. The zone as well. Max distance and not letting up on the rotation.
¿Qué
They
pasa,
continue to
Johnny?
spend.
¿Qué pasa,
This
hombre?
also means resources so hard.
Adelante, adelante, no pasa nada.
I saw 1.6 thousand damage done this game from both tac shotguns, ARs, possible sniper rifle beams as well. No, or not that many knocks actually being taken at the moment. Just a somber 5, but they finally push over for height. We know that Unknown lost it. The beam coming through. That's a knock on someone. Still, a few people left over though. Do they finally have control of height? They do, but at a huge cost once again. Posick out of mats and kind of stranded on his own island, makes the jump across to the ramp. Once again, a multi-tarp player, big comms coming in, the RPG as well to follow. The final 7th zone closes in, 18 players left alive.
I forgot that it was actually Unknown Army's team who was split tarping up on high ground, but it was Posick, Nil, and Smacked, and Mikey who took it from them. I'm not sure where. Of course, Zexro and them are. I see Dubs in the feed still. They still have a chance as well. This could be, of course, Zeta. I didn't see them. Really quiet day from Creo. Posick, Nil, and Smacked are putting up a clinic. 10 elims from them off of the mid-ground tarp. They said stay second high. The trap comes in, but Smacked escapes. Now that they have 4 players, last game they didn't. They're making a show here, and they could end up taking game number 5.
At the same time, though, Posick has been moving throughout this final or second final game of game 5 with no materials, just following his teammates like a sentry gun, just looking for anything he can get his eyes on, anywhere he can make his voice heard. Still now, 1 tarp shared amongst the rest of the team that's left. Posick finally goes down. Someone else is going up for height. There's only 1 person left on his squad.
And again, the same thing that happened last game. It's a height take in the final moments in the last zone. If it's anybody, it's probably, of course, Zate, Saf, High Sky, and them. We are going to be able to watch the replay and see how everything unfolded. Here was, of course, Macwood, Calc, Vinny. There's the bingo. Liquid was in endgame. An update on their performance is Zexro. Does get beamed, but I believe he stays up and gets a couple of elims at this point of the game. Vinny there with the bandage bazooka is going to be the best support player ever, supporting his former duo to keep him alive and in this game.
At the same time, the right side of the zone. We're talking about staying alive and staying in the game. This is where the zone kept pulling over and over again, and this squad is exactly the individuals who are there. Slightly getting contested by 72. Eclipse actually sharing the same tarp, but not the same layer right under them. Potentials for edit plays are possible. 72 is in the driver's seat for his team, though.
Don't let that number 9 throw you off. They are about 30-something points because they didn't have 72 hours in that game. Oh my goodness, is Lucky got edited in on by an entire squad of Bizzle, Mega, Dubs, and Eclipse. Here's Chap by his lonesome. He's going to pick up Tossily. That's 1 good pickup at this point. He does start accruing placement points. Haji in the mix as well. Here's when Niddle, Posick, Mikey, and company did pick up the high ground. Zexro, Calc, Vinny, they all go to low. RPG's raining down above them. They're just going for full placement at this point. A number of elims for them, but nothing too crazy. Yes, actually, 1 does get picked up. Zexro takes some RPG fire from up above. Top 5 situation now.
I think Unknown Army squad was around at 79 points when we first left them. 5 elims finally ended up going down. The big RPG that we saw live separate the entire squad. And then Cal picks up one of the individuals who dropped down from it. Expert eye tracking there from exactly who's falling and who's where. Will these guys go up for the high ground is the question, though. Mac still at the bottom. Everyone finally making that final push.
It is.
Yeah, there it is. All the way up on height, they have the chance to finish this game and possibly get more than 79 points. Taking the L is Cal.
The L dance to add insult to injury on this game. Another one onto Posick. They wipe that squad, and now Calc drops down to end everything. The win to catapult themselves into first place. All 4 members alive to take out Smacked in the last second there, calculating the elims, 14 elims, and the win. You said Army left at 79. No placement threshold accrued for them in that game. That means we got ourselves a real match.
That's Team Solo Vanguard versus the most infamous aimer in the city, with Vanguard as well in that squad up near the top 2. I'm hyped up to see the leaderboards. BBG, though, coming up on top, holding that zone for as long as they did after overtaking it. That's a lot of shakeup in those bottom tier teams, not bottom tier, but bottom ranking teams from 10th to 24th.
Don't forget a couple of teams that we saw elsewhere in there accruing the placement thresholds. We didn't see quite, and we're able to tally their elims, but Team Liquid, Chap, obviously coming in 7th place that game, at least one placement threshold, maybe some elims on their side. Dubs, Mega, Eclipse, and Bizzle were in that end game too. So continuing to push their way up. People missing. Where's 8 Saf, High Sky, and Commandment? So maybe their run is now over. Maybe the Kings have been dethroned this season of FNCS, and maybe we are setting the stage for back-to-back FNCS champions. That would be something, wouldn't it?
It's going to be a 2-term election in a sense, and we already know who our president is. Bow down to Young Calculator in a sense. This man has been in the chat. This man has been shooting the RPGs. You can clip that and take it to the bank. We're going to have some legislation being passed in the Fortnite comp scene.
Oh no, my man Shio calling, well, anyways, Calc likes to call himself ridiculous things as well, so why can't we? We are waiting on the leaderboard, see where all these threads end up sewing together, because we are moving into game number 6 at the conclusion, the epic conclusion, I think is safe to say at this point, of the NA East Finals. Here it is. The leaderboards are up. We got one more game to go. There we have actually added the points that this is Lucky 72 Hours Chap and Vivid did not get because of their earlier thing, but there it is. Exro, Calc, Vinny, and Macwood 1 point ahead, and they take the lead against Unknown Army, Kez, Ronaldo, and Avery.
Yeah, I'm talking, all right, you know the food analogies, hitting you with a big one. This is a reverse burger. Usually you'll see a bun with beef and then a bun. Right now, beef at the top. Who is the best? 1 point game for first and second, and then beef at the bottom. Who owns the farm? Who's outplacing who? It's a meat sandwich, covered in meat and wrapped in meat as well, because look at the middle right there, man. Mega, Bizzle, Eclipse, Dubs still fighting up for the top spot, 61 points. Victory Royale can break the tiebreakers. Not sure what's going on with production. I'm ruining things right now as well. But like, you know, it's a 1 point race on both ends.
Shia, you are Canadian. I know what they do at Tim Hortons. They wrap things in bacon over and over and over. And here we do have plenty of meat in the story. Let's stop with the food reference. We're literally ruining everything, Shia. 8th place is now Arab's team, and they get overtaken by their rivals. This is probably the best rival I think we've ever seen, all the way back Nick Merckx and Aiden in Tilted Towers. I can't wait. I don't know about you guys, but I want is more action.
No, I 100% want to get right into game 6 if possible. If not, we're still chilling looking at, actually we are into game 6, ready to jump into the conclusion of this epic multi-threaded saga that is the North America East Squad FNCS. These are the grand finals, game 6 once again, and no surprise, uncontested Unknown Army. They are talking though, actually, no. Getting beat.
No.
A cigar as well. Will the champ be taken out as a question? Can he ever have a chance at even getting first this game? Safely lands.
God. He safely lands, but not before losing 36 HP and mines the campfire with the wood. Actually, it's a free campfire at that point. Knowing that that player's low, I'd be very, very, very scared. If I'm Unknown Army, I would be getting my way back over to Slurpy Swamps. He cannot afford to go down. Not at all. Because this guy, sure, he might not be the only recipe for success on this team, but he is a big part of it. Man, he does not stop continuing forward, getting farther away from his team. I hope this does not come back to bite him.
Yeah, if this team had a weapon, it would 100% be Unknown Army. Talking to Kez a little bit post and pregame, they kind of just now let him do what he wants to do, tarp out, and he finds his way back home. That's how they've been playing endgame. It's been working out for them, but they need that crucial piece there. Right now, though, tuning back in to the Frenzy farm drop.
Since their game 3 success, exactly what it says on the screen right now, they really haven't put on anything. And they had broken all FNCS records for the number of elims and the number of points in a game. But here, they're continuing with what I think a foolish task to defend the farm against 2 separate teams. At this point, they're doing it for the story. They're doing it because they want to be known as the champions of Frenzy Farm and not necessarily thinking about what is going on the rest of the tournament.
At the same time, where do you go as people who land at Frenzy Farm, at Orchard, who aren't experienced with fishing routes, who aren't experienced with all the new mechanics when it comes to high tier looting in Season 2 or Chapter 2 of Fortnite? This is one of the most unique drops in the game, but also one of the driest and most simple, easy to adapt, but very hard to adapt away from when you're moving across the map. So these guys might not just have a home, and this is the only place that they can go.
Oh no. Saf tweets that he crashed last game. GG's only indeed. The unfortunate circumstances do continue. They were a team that had a possibility of contesting at least towards the top. They were in 4th place. That's so unfortunate. Meanwhile, I think that 50-50 at the house did take place, so not sure who came out on top. I did not see any names that I recognized in the feed just yet. Still 95 players alive, so maybe the fight is there, or maybe it was just one team. We'll see.
Yeah, we saw Unknown Army dropping off the bus. We're still 95 as well, so Saf's team's not the only one to have missing pieces to the puzzle. At the same time, missing shields here at the very start. The community also wondering who will be the ultimate victors of the farm.
Keep using that hashtag. FNCS Finals, tell us what you think of everything so far. We are in the last game, so it's put up or shut up. I say that every time that the finals was put up or shut up, but hey, there's 3 teams right now that I'm paying attention to. All right, 3 teams that I'm tracking, 3 teams that I have my eyes glued to the action feed to see if any of them get knocked, if any of them get eliminated, if any of them contribute to anything. 0 Cash Cup earnings, just took out Spud Light. So that's telling me that Team Liquid, that Team Perplexity and company are not anywhere to be found, and Team Liquid have actually claimed this house that Arab is now looking at and getting dangerously close to. I think he might have decided that they fell back. That is a fake base. Oh my goodness. Ramping on top of this house right now. They must have information that I'm missing.
Yeah, has made the great decision of actually going away from this entire fight, so it will be a 4v4. At the same time, these guys know exactly how Storm Surge works in here. This is the leaderboard and how point systems work as well. 43 points for the top 6 to stay in contention as well. You got to be above that 40 mark in general. Many teams, possibly also below 10th place, could be earning points. If you're at 20, you pop off with a 12 elim game, you're all the way up there in that boosted amount of points that you have. Tifu, 39 points right now, right on the cusp of that. Arab as well, 39 points. You guys are kind of tied for being very close to the top. The question is, who will survive the last game's pressure?
Of course, don't forget about Mega Bizzle, Eclipse, and because it was so close in the last game, because Unknown Army did go down so early and have a weaker performance as he upgrades that pump shotgun, it has actually made it more possible for many teams to contend. Mega Bizzle, Eclipse, and Doves, as we just saw, are at 61 points, only 18 points shy of Unknown Army, Kez, and Avery, and 19 points away from Zexro at first place. So anything is possible. Keep an eye. These guys could go down early. Zexro, Macwood, and Calc could go down early as well with no points or low points. And all of a sudden, a couple of elims and a win could change things around. So Doves, Mega, Eclipse, and Bizzle, the prolific finals placements, they still have it in them. And we're watching everybody.
I've been watching EU, NA East, and after this, NA West as well, so stay tuned for all of that. Very similar, though, to EU Game 6. Every single person has the opportunity to actually be at the #1 spot or in the top 9. Points are very, very close to each other, because I hear myself right back to Mikey.
It's all good. Our observers are also trying to keep track of exactly what we're saying so that they can give as most relevant updates as possible. Thank you for the update on Zexro, Vinny, and Calc. Don't forget, guys, this has been a team effort. We've got observers in the back. Here's the map. Here's the split. Has actually went over the Pleasant. Zayt and High Sky, you see their split, but missing Saf. That's a key piece to their success. Of course, Commandant, one of the most clutch players of all time in this FNCS. I guess I shouldn't say all time. He's kind of, popped off in recent times.
Look at who or what side of the map got zoned this game, the bottom left.
You're signifying, you're hinting. And of course, Serpy Swamps being in the zone. Unknown Army, Kez, Ronaldo may not have to move, but from what we've seen so far, actually, when you think back to the different amount of zones that we've had in all of these games, it has been very West favored. Another team that has zone more central, actually, is Misty Meadows. Dubs, Mega, Bizzle, and Eclipse are over there.
Right now, still a complete anyone's game in a sense, as long as the performance is there. Everyone's in shouting distance for the very top spot, at the same time for the top 9 as well. Tuning into
Here it
who
is.
we're talking about, yep.
Uncontested at Misty Meadows. We were talking about who has the zone potential. Look at the loot already for these guys. Misty, one of the spots that has the most loot potential. It's actually interesting that they're all taking houses on the same side. Maybe they were worried about getting contested in the final game, making sure that they're making adjustments to stay tighter in the last game. I think that's very, very important. There is the splits. I think the first time that we see Ace, everybody. So many different splits. I don't see Crims, but it's possible. Look at the different people. Ooh, Unknown Army, Ronaldo, Avery, and Kez were actually split this entire time. I thought that they might be contested against Creo. That's what should happen. Instead of full-on 50-50ing each other, hey, guys, don't take the risk in early game. There's a lot of loot to go around. We got plenty of loot. Frenzy Farm is, I guess, the only place that isn't really taking note of that. Of course, it's a different situation at every different POI. They're splitting this game, Unknown Army and company, really not taking any risk.
The risk will come in that late game, and the reward is there. Early game, though, just a few points. Maybe the momentum is not really worth it for a lot of teams. 75 players, though, left alive makes it seem like a lot of people, as we get a glimpse into the future from Tifu's feed, are taking these risks. A nice rainbow loadout with a lot of grenades that were available, now down to 2. Excess shield is here that Cloaksy might drink up just in case these guys want to move out and stay topped off. Full metal in both their inventories. I would assume everyone's inventory as well. There's to refarm their wood and brick. Move out forward. It looks good on the horizon for Tifu squad.
Here, what happened to the usual POV we have early game of clicks. Blake and company, they've actually all ended their streams. This continues to happen time and time again. And speaking of them, here's an early game engagement. Blake down earlier. Crims was in the game. Spades coming from behind on Vivid. Don't tell me this is a snipe from behind. Don't tell me the sneaky bush plays are actually coming against Liquid instead of from Liquid. Clicks is in such a bad position. I have to keep track of Liquid for sure. Everybody's so interested in if they can overtake and actually beat out Arab squad. If they can keep that. Great protection from all these guys, but Spades starting to set up grenades. Is this going to work? I don't think it is. Hold on, here they come. Great job by Sizlucky to know exactly to back off. And all of a sudden, Spades has given up his position and said, hey guys, I'm so...
Punisher mass inside of there.
Bala actually cut out there just for a second. I think the note he was on was talking about exactly, you know, hey, if I'm in nade range, you're in nade range too, both going straight back right up against each other. Spades also having the adeptness and dexterity of knowing that's occurring and then backing off. 453 damage above Storm Surge's Unknown Army, moving through exactly where Zayt was before as well. So these two squads, both high up on the leaderboard, might be on high ground or fighting for it together near the end of the game, very close by.
We have swordfish, right?
Where's that mini? I have four. I think they just started to move south. Yeah, don't shoot him.
Question on everybody's mind right now.
Still there? Yeah, no, he wasn't there originally. That's
Happen
a good spot.
is unknown army, the best player in chapter 2.
Dexter just got a kill.
And is it a controller play?
Spades, I'm guessing.
Man, I think they killed all of them.
Yeah, Spades died early. I mean, his rest of his team died early game to somebody else.
Is a controller player taking the title of best player in the world? Is that possible?
It's about to hide chat.
It has all the aim assist debate and, you know, vitriol against the controller. They created a monster in unknown army. Have they caused this? Have they caused him to just have such a strong rise to the top? Here's Teza onto Booga, a replay. Not a good showing from Booga and company. Again, struggling in the finals of FNCS. Last season, the trios, they played so well in their heats. And here again, the same story, playing well in their heats, but falling off in the finals.
Yeah, right now I'm also hearing that the placement of the team fighting right now, Tesla Gandhi Rocks, one of the lowest, unfortunately, because of all the off-spawn shenanigans / mid-game unfortunate rotations, but they take out one of the top contenders who were expected to perform. The rankings fighting once again, a nice angle onto Frat, who now has to drop downwards. If these guys want to have a chance at getting his reboot card, Teza, though, still has that RPG. Misty Meadows being their OG spot they used to land in when it came to scrims. The question is, can they take over and come back again? A nice side title card there as well. Zexro still having a chance to score the most points in FNCS squad finals of all the original 6 regions. OCE had the biggest showing with 99 points. We're checking out this fight still right now in Misty Meadows. 22 teams still left alive, so that was an early one. Now moving over a little bit, fast forwarding into the game. Neek, I don't know, it's Arab actually moving forward here. 66 people left alive. No actual utility available in his belt either. It's all going to be him right now in Aguilar. Their aim, game sense, and decision making. Zone moving in 1 minute 20 seconds. Kaz now finally jumping between perspectives. Looking at who's knocked and who's not. Finally, all 4 angles closing in. Arab frantically looking out in all directions. Is there a way out? Or is his back against the wall? The ramp is not staying up for enough time. The shotgun shot is coming through. He gets thrown out, boxed up, finished by 72 hours in a poetic show of the entire 6 games. It looks like we have an ultimate winner as to who has more points, whose stream and perspective is still alive, and who won the battle of Frenzy Farm.
Liquid on. Seems like a war.
What Ball is trying to say might be getting interrupted by Arabs. Goons who might be looking at blocking off any negativity. No, it's his internet connection. We're going through a few issues. All good. Is that Liquid is on top ultimately. That being said, there are storylines developing all across the map. Tifu still fighting for a top spot. 41 points, can rise through the ranks. 40 points was where everyone was at that bottom 9 situation. While Liquid controls what's going on between the eastern side of the map towards the northeast, there's a big battle to get into zone. 1 minute to move over, though. There is loot that Tifu can't pick up. The big issue being how much time do they want to invest into this situation. Look at the mats as well. Only 160 brick left. Still putting down more. How much does he get? Not that much at all. Only the minimum acquired mats you get for knocking people down and fully eliminating them. 63 players left alive. But luckily, all 4 are healthy, of ample mind, and can make sound decisions as they move forward.
Can we go south or no?
They're going to choose to move south. They jump in over with Unknown Army. Once again, that top spot only 1 point across the bottom of that leaderboard towards the 9th place has been secured by Team Liquid. They pull forward with 4 a 4-man wipe onto Arab squad that just recently happened. This top squad, though, in first place. About 10 people alive ago, 74 being the exact number, are in a high up spot. We saw Spades actually get into a kerfuffle with Liquid earlier, who then turned around and looked at a rotating team, which was Arabs. That's kind of the context of exactly where we're looking around. But Team Solo Vanguard looking to push their lead, unknown already in one of his bread and butter situations, that being mid-ground near endgame, now low ground. And look at this, one of the clutch players of their squad, Ronaldo, is completely eliminated from the competition.
We got this whole house.
See if this helped. I tried to do something else. How's my mic shout?
It's sounding almost all the way there.
This is a misty zone.
Credible now, though, unhearable now.
Well, we'll give it a shot for a bit. Here's an army. Not working, so I'm gonna shut up and let Shia close out the cast as we're approaching endgame.
All right, Bala will be able to jump back, possibly if these tests keep working, but until then, you've got big old me and you got Unknown's most precise aim, looking downwards into the water. Don't need a fishing rod. If you can shoot the fish that are there, don't leave your wall open anywhere at all. Unknown getting an elimination crucial, because 1 point is the difference between him, Young Calculators, Exo, Macwood, and Vinny all the way up top. Another Elam coming through. Not sure if Calc is sleeping right now on his side of the map. Not sure exactly who they're looking at as well. It very much could be them. Nades finally being thrown into the water. Look at the resources used, though. No AR left for Unknown. That is a loud channel. Now muted for this team. Ronaldo already eliminated. He was the Elam star all the way at the end of these games. He is not going to have a voice. Unknown has no AR, going to have to play with his team. That's not usually his role. He's usually the lone wolf that gets the job done, then finds his way home. Kez is going to have to be the VIP now. Following the tarp that Avery's making, Avery has to make all the right decisions. Splitting AR possibly, and Unknown is back online. He has 100 bullets to get the job done unless he finds more off of the eliminated corpses in the lobby. We're looking at who's actually up in high ground. 78 damage above Storm Surge. All the utility is not in Unknown's inventory. He makes the most out of the bullets that he has. Mats are available as well. They're looking at the entire development of mid-ground 2. You look back right across the map. Everyone's frantically running for the best position in zone. Unknown already there. The Slurpfish taken. Finally back online with shields. He's going to be moving forward. 30 players left alive. It's now getting even tighter. Usually it ends up fast. He's going for a nice clamp and shutout. Not possible there. The buffer comes through. We switch over to the people who were getting targeted in the water. It was actually Tfue, Cloaksy, and their squad. They pick up a few eliminations, so it's not the end of the world, but is it enough to catch up to Liquid, who had such a big base, getting all of Arab's loot off from 9th? They pushed themselves forward. Multiple story threads on multiple sides of the leaderboard. Now someone going and cranking up for height. Avery, where are you with the tarp? Can Unknown follow? Kez right in front of him. He finally gets up. It's 90 up, which means it's so hard to edit out of this situation. Now finding himself in other people's metal tarps. It's not possible for him to find a way through. He sees 4 individuals there. It finally goes all the way around to the zone side, but the mountain is so hard to climb, and someone has claimed it. Steens is all the way up on height. Eliminated. Avery playing for placement. Get third. Is it enough? Who is still left alive? We're going to be jumping back a little bit. 35 points, or 35 players now left up. Posick, 48 points, 49 almost. These guys moving up the board in their last 2 games. Mikey was on height. He got knocked down by Calc last game, fully eliminated. But now he has a second chance to go right back and clap up the top side of the leaderboard, get up their prize money from the 10th to 24th slot all the way to the 9th slot. Now on ultimate low ground, so it's a completely different picture. Flip it upside down. That's the leaderboard update. Zextro Calc up on top, 1 point difference. Now, actually, these guys are in 6th place with 43. They overtake 2 different teams. Not sure where Nahil and Ninja are. They might actually be all the way out, but these guys have a little bit of trouble actually moving in through the tarp. They're going to be moving forward. 500 damage above Storm Surge as it clocks in. It looks like Posick has an angle, gets the first shot, has 2 edits to go through, but it's too much for him to move and still stay on top of zone. Not possible. Has floppers and a bandage gun, so he can't catch up. We see a lot of his squad actually moving forward. He's going to be left behind, has to go for any type of points that he can. He's so far back and away. 30 players still left alive. Only 5 have gone down through this entire cast and this entire game. on the end zones. Finally, one more, 5 more get knocked. The whole squad is still alive as they move forward and climb up the ranks. 50 points now in total, and they have a clean tarp to follow. That is the best thing you can ask for in this end game moment. They're slow going and still chugging through. Now, this is that big mountain that everyone had to climb over. We saw Kez have big trouble. That's actually their squad being blocked. Unknown right there, being blocked off, has to play up in the zone, but Posick finds a way through. He finds the light through the cracks. Can he get some more smackdown built by gamers and then taken down by shotguns at 5th place? Jakobiki secures that through, gets all the eliminations, and the Siphon. Zypha now taking out 72. That's how they ended up. Only 3 players in Zate's squad. Saf did not load through in the last game. The question is, can they climb up? We saw Posick and his squad at 50 points. Now it's going to be Zate's squad, also at that threshold, but at an earlier point in the game, they go for a spray down on keys. These guys might not have controllers, but they do have the best decision-making on when to take shots and the experience and aim to back it up. So good on mats as well. Full wood, half metal, half brick as they move forward. Slightly up with that storm surge. You know how long people lasted above 30 players might be an issue. 11 people, meaning that if you get knocked and eliminated here, you get no points whatsoever. We still don't know who's won the game, so this replay will show it. We've seen 4 different perspectives of people in the end game. A knockdown on the Zate. Once again, trying to fight for money, trying to fight for reputation. Is this entire squad the kings of all the heats? Can they rise up to the throne at the end? A lot of damage and chaos being taken. The whole squad is split up. Look at the mat usage. Commandment all the way down to 80 mats. 90, 30, 0. The shots there, his health. Can he be the hero? Is it possible? Zate now in the fray. An RPG comes in. He dodges it. Down to the left. Calc is there on low ground with Zate. It's a battle in the throne room. No trebuchets. Just swords. The shotguns. Haji goes down. Simio, Reddit, eliminated from the competition. Dubs is losing. So is Mega. Back to back. They're going down. Still moving forward. The amount of eliminations, 57 points. Going all the way up and through. 7th zone, not over yet. The bandage gun in Commandment's inventory. This man, if he has to clutch, does it every time. With perfect form. Ando, though, at the top. Steves and Jeremy. They can get 9th place, too. It's a race on all aspects. Jakobiki, we saw him take off everyone on the low ground and the mid ground. Coop is also at the top, had a big clutch early on, but can he clutch up? The placement is the question. Big face smack, gets slapped. Tossily, he's going down to Jeremy, takes the trade. Keys goes down, Avery eliminated. Coop is on top, and it seems on right beside him. Is the game over is the question. Someone is healing in the storm. The question is, who is it? Who gets second? It's Punisher. Punisher reveals his face for the first time near the end game. But Steves, Jeremy, Coop, and Ando take it all away. Zate with a big performance as well. The leaderboards are as shaken as my mind is right now. Holy moly. That zone, that game, the NAE finals. I cannot believe what I'm watching.
Holy crap, Shio. Big ups to be able to last all the way through. I'm back. I lost my voice just listening to that. That was a huge ups to you, Shio. But back to what we just witnessed, because I don't even know. Zexro not making, I saw Calc in the end, fighting off against Zate, Saf, and High Sky. They ended up going down too. I literally do not have a clue where standings are going to end up. Based on what we saw, it's not Zate, Saf, High Sky, and Commandment, even though they did push forward with 3 players. That was unbelievable performance from them, but Unknown Army too, getting all the way towards, I don't exactly know where he finished, so we'll have to see how many points that was. Mega, Dubs, Bizzle, and Eclipse were in the mix as well, so really, we just have to wait. We just have to wait, but seriously, amazing job, Shia. That was incredible.
Thank you, man. What I saw there was a mountain turning that game into a blender. They put all the players in there. I don't know what type of concoction came out, but we had low ground fights. We had people doing what they do best. Commandment, the clutch of the century possibly right there in squads. I just want to see when these leaderboards are coming up. I don't have an announcement for it in my ear yet, but I can't help mentioning it. As you said, the results are basically tossed up in the air. Every team was in the fray from the 3rd zone all the way to the end.
I'm not sure if we followed Unknown's perspective all the way through. Obviously, my internet was acting up, but if he did get far up that mountain, if he was there by himself, did he just perform the clutch that he needed to get over? Shao, you have something to say because I know you're jumping to see it.
Avery was actually the third person, I believe, or the third place individual to stay alive all the way to the very end up that mountain. Punisher was doing the heal game at the end. Smack got taken out seconds before Coop